Welcome back to what's this? Oh, Rush of Badness, right? So you may have noticed we've been gone for a long, long time, longer than I probably said I was going to be. That's fine, it's whatever. It's just normal, right? I mean, it's how things work. So vacation happened, then some off sessions due to scheduling conflicts. It's the holiday season. This shit happens every year. Get used to it. If you've been here for a while, I mean, nobody's really watching this anyways. Whatever. We're moving on to the point where I tell you what happened last session. You entered into the Beached Whale. The Beached Whale is a casino off the coast, or up the coast from Swordbreak, a town city that we're currently looking at on screen as of this moment. The group finished their business, spoke to the master of the Red Apples, and seemed to have settled in well with the criminal element in Swordbreak. Not a bad choice. And they also got some information regarding possible pirate activity, headed up by a number of individuals, but primarily due in part to Hadrian, one of the seven that. Can you hear me okay? Not if you can hear me. Okay, so I think that they can still hear me. Since Discord's being goofy, what we're going to do is, if you are listening on that, move over to Zoom. Yeah,
We're already there.
cool,
Well, I
great.
guess we're using. I guess I'm not using Discord. I guess I'm
I think
using
you're the
this.
last one.
More than fair. So back to the things I was saying to everyone else, and you probably didn't hear.
I only heard because of Twitch.
Criminal element met with the dragon leader of the Red Apples. Learned that Hadrian's probably causing problems down the coast between them and Benford, which is their ultimate destination, presumably. They want to spend some time in Swordbreak as their ship is being repaired. Today and tomorrow will be the last days of their repair gig. Um, Today is the day of Dan, which is the last day of a 6 day. And one of the group had some idea of what they wanted to do then, but I think the common consensus for the crew is that they wish to enter into the Undercity and start exploring and spelunking down below if they can gain access. Um,
And
but
it was in 22.
mhm, mhm. I will, of course, allow you to discuss, and if any of you wish to kind of splinter off, and it looks like everybody got shifted to. Awesome. I'm going to deal with that while you folks discuss amongst yourselves what the plan is and if you're splitting the party or not.
Just blame Discord. Um, are we splitting the
Hey, it just
party?
came back from me.
Oh.
Okay, everybody's back in the right
Oh
spot.
yeah, there it is. Oh god, it's putting us all in.
Okay, so then leave computer audio. Okay, great, great, great. So hopefully Discord does the right thing. Yeah, so um,
If I was to say, I would just say that since we're probably not going to play for a while, maybe we shouldn't split the party just so we can savor the moment. But that's entirely meta.
right.
Mad.
For those watching at home who might not know, this will be the last session for the year, and January will be filled with Cyberpunk. So
Cyberpunk.
back to it. In character, Jonah, if you have a, if you wish
I'll
to,
go. I'll go spelunking with the group. I'll
okay.
go all spelunking.
And you'll deal with the weird dog man later.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So you head over to the hole. Nobody really gets in your way. There's no problems. You are able to kind of make it to the point. And it being the day of Dan, it looks like there is signs that construction is happening. Like there is definitely signs that they are putting in foundational struts that are basically securing the top layer to the bottom layer's like submerged foundation. And from what you can see, the two buildings you're looking down at in that location are probably about 2, maybe 3 stories tall, from what you can tell. But it definitely looks like a good half of that building is submerged. Um, Looking at it from above, you can also see that the roof has a number of holes kind of smashed into the tiling. And this looks like it is from construction materials having fallen into the space, not from any kind of forced entry or what have you. And I'd like for everybody to go ahead and make a perception check. Let me know what you got.
16.
Pretty good. Anybody else?
23, nat 20.
Really good.
21.
I see shit.
An 8.
Very,
For once, I perceived better than Castia.
we love to see it. So what you see, this would be Cassia and Lose as well. The holes seem to continue through the roof, through the floor, and down. And with dark vision, which both of you have, you're able to see that the building, despite having water going up to about half of it, has no water in it. The same is true of the other buildings. So both buildings have the same kind of situation. Looks like they are watertight, at least from the second floor down.
That's probably good, because I can't breathe underwater.
I can't either. The holes in, like, is there like a easy like entry point there?
So there's no actual like set method for descending down to the building. It's not really a thing that they care about doing. However, there are 2 very large struts that are connected to the undersides. You can see them more clearly on this side. So they're these circular spots. And those are basically going to serve as kind of weight points or pillars that will hold up the building above. They are on these as well. They are underneath. There's 4 of them on this side. So they're underneath these little piers that kind of come out. But the columns are probably somewhere around like 2 feet thick. And it looks like they're made out of very like sturdy steel or iron.
So like if I could on this strut right here, I could how far down to the roof peak
It's about
is it?
15 feet. But the roof
so not
is,
just a little
yeah, the roof
jump.
is a little. I mean, it's obviously got dimensionality to it, and as it's a place that gets a lot of rain, it's not very flat. The top, it's a little bit more vaulted.
Yeah.
So if you descend down onto it, it may be a balanced situation to stay out of the water.
I'll climb down.
Okay. Just using the column and your climb speed?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you get onto the roof, you can kind of, get your nails into the tile slots. You do feel that it is very loose, and even though you don't personally weigh like a lot, you are getting a kind of feeling that the ground, or rather the roof you're standing on, has a limit to it. It definitely feels like the structural integrity is not very sound.
So probably not best.
Orlandis, don't calm down.
I'm coming! Ah!
Jumps
straight
down
through.
immediately. No.
Heavy armor
Said
knight
you
just crashes to the roof.
You said
Say
you,
what? Come down. Okay, I'm going. Oh.
you said you wanted to spelunk together.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm on the roof.
Yep. And if you look inside, you can see that the houses are pretty much cleared of all effects. It's pretty bland looking inside. But what you're realizing is that the walls, like in the third floor, look like they're wood, simple build, right? The second floor, it looks like the walls are all stone, and for you, it's familiar. As you've kind of been around a bit, you would recognize the stonework as dwarven. It looks like it is very sound, which is probably why it's watertight. Dwarves kind of make sure that the stones, without a lot of use of,
Mortar.
Mortar.
right, mortar, they kind of make sure that they're very tightly sealed together, like the blocks are fit to purpose.
Some good craftsmanship right there.
Indeed.
So is there like a window or anything on this third floor I can just break in?
So you can just drop in the ceiling because there's holes.
Oh,
in
there's
the
a hole.
ceiling. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I'll go in.
Okay. So yeah, looks like there's a pretty simple method of like descending down, and there are holes in the floor as well that go all the way down to the first floor. And on the first floor, you can find a small little alcove kind of area that looks like it has a cellar door, like a descent further in.
Oh. Alright. Well, I guess I'll go back up. Shout this to everyone else. There's a cellar down here. Is anyone else coming?
Yeah. Suppose we should. Trying to see. Oh, that's right. I left like everything. This rope, could we use it to? Is it like tied to anything?
No,
Up
you could
here.
definitely go over and grab it. It's like 50 feet of, and the rope in question is a little thicker than your typical rope. Like travel rope is very thin,
Yeah.
for purpose. This looks like it's more like a securing line. It's still 50 feet and it's still made out of hemp. It's just that it's thick corded rope
Dense.
instead of, yeah.
Okay.
Construction rope.
Correct.
For that crane over there.
Construction grade rope. And it could be for that crane. Absolutely true.
It looks a little far away though. The crane.
It definitely looks like the crane was being used to build the new foundation in that spot that it's kind of over.
Yeah, like bringing materials from here
Yeah.
to the down.
To kind of zoom in on it so we can see it here, you can see that the method, if you have carpentry tools as a trained tool, you can kind of see that the method that they're utilizing is make the pillar supports, right? Place across them a beam, and then cross beam that with the actual ground. And they do this at a lower level than is kind of where the house or building that they're planning on building will be. They're basically building the foundation with the old house as the new foundation.
Right. Okay. I'd like to try and tie the rope to this beam here.
Okay.
I think that looks most secure.
Toss it in.
And then, yeah, and then kind of lower self down.
Okay. So, Vravik, you've made it down to the basement. You've kind of yelled up. Those of you who are up above, strangely, it doesn't feel like you're getting a lot of Ravik's voice. And Astrogoth being kind of acutely aware of acoustics, you would know that the voice is not echoing inside of the chamber. Instead, it's being buffered and remaining inside the chamber due to the water outside of the walls of the building he's in.
Mhm.
Gotcha. It's pretty good knowledge, even though I critically failed that roll.
I didn't even ask for one.
It's from all the dude expertise that you have.
Mm.
Yeah, the perception was looky loos. The acoustic.
I know. I
knowledge
just thought it was funny.
ear to
Wow,
lose.
we're looky loos now.
Looky loos.
All right.
Is it dim light inside the?
In some
Cool.
points, yes. In some points, no. It's really just dependent on where you're standing on the third floor. But once you get down below that, it's even less and less and less dim light that you'll be dealing with.
Oh yeah, Ravik's wearing his goggles on night down here, by the way.
Perfect.
I'm basically just asking how easily Castia can climb down into dim light to just fly over for that distance, because I'm not dealing with this rope and suspicious rooftop.
I would say that if you kind of descend down onto the roof, at that point you can start using a fly speed.
I will be prepared to do that for when the roof collapses.
More than fair.
Oh no.
Okay. To save a lot of time, you all descend down into the building and kind of make your way around.
Landis doesn't collapse the roof? Damn it.
If you are interested in the building proper and not so much kind of what's beneath, and want to kind of spend some time looking around, you can. I simply ask that you make an investigation check. If you are not interested in that shit, that's fine too. Be on your way.
I got a 14.
Not bad.
A 6.
25.
So, Braddock, you've been spending
Nice.
some time down here, and you kind of realize that the sound's kind of off, so you kind of ascend back up onto the third floor, but then you start realizing everybody's coming down, so you kind of cross your arms and go, and then start kind of looking around that floor. And from what you can tell, it looks like there are parts of the building that have been removed. The main things that have been removed from the building that you're kind of sure of, not being a carpenter yourself, are like the core walls in the center of like the house. So like interior walls have been taken up and out, and you realize that it seems that they're just going to repurpose some of the materials that are still good. The thing that kind of strikes you with that investigation check, that's not just kind of boring knowledge, is that there's a small area where you can see like a little bit of the dwarf stone wall, and then a bit of the wood wall that was built on for the third level, kind of where they meet, on the floor of the third level. And that investigation check lets you know that one of the bricks, the top brick that you can see, is slightly askew, like it's been taken up and out into the third floor and put back a number of times.
I'm gonna pick up the brick.
Okay. So at that time, Cassia's kind of floating down, and Lose has made her way down the rope, and Orlandis has made it onto the space. Everyone's kind of starting to search around as you kind of come to this conclusion. And you pop open this brick, and inside there's a small cavity kind of set inside of the bricks, and seated inside of that space is a small kind of silver chest. It almost looks like a makeup box or a jewelry chest. Got it. And if you kind of look at the locking mechanism, it's not much of anything. It's like one of those little tab deals. So you're able to pop it open, and inside there are 3 items. There is a silver key. There is a pair of earrings. And then there is a brooch. It's got one of the... it's like a picture of a person on it. What are those called?
Cameo.
Cameo. I do this every time, I think. It's like a cameo. It looks like it's been formed of like a really soft jade. and it appears to be of a woman, but it looks like a wizardly woman. And based on the kind of exterior of the cameo's marker, it looks like it's got conglomerate markings on it.
Interesting.
Oh, player me thinks we know what this is.
I'm gonna show it to you. So.
Oh no, I'm saying player me, not NPC me. Or not PC me.
It's an odd request. So then we do what?
What?
What are we doing?
Obviously, I'm gonna take the things.
You have the things.
I'm gonna steal the stuff. What
A
this is.
silver key, a pair of simple white gold earrings, and a conglomerate cameo.
I'm going to sniff the key.
It smells like silver.
Amazing.
And as a kind of ne'er-do-well thief, bounty hunter type, you know that in Ulamon and also in Ordris, silver keys are typically keys that are kind of situated to one location and will open any door in that location.
Invisible tower, invisible tower.
Exactly. There's a tower above us that's
But
invisible.
once the key is used, the key is gone. It's if you've ever played Zelda, a silver key is just the generic keys that you get.
It's brittle and falls apart after a single use.
Yep. And silver. It's like that cheap silver you find at like
Oh, it's mall ninja weapon silver.
Mall Ninja.
I'm gonna show the earrings and brooch to everyone and be like, are these magical?
Does anybody
Oh.
Does anybody know identify in this group?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I definitely do. I'm kidding. No.
I thought about taking a feat to learn Arcana, but I didn't.
Detect magic is a thing, I think. So we'd at least know they're magical.
I do have detect magic.
They are magical.
Hey. Well, at
I
least
think
know
Jonah
that
should
much.
put them on.
100%. Putting
The earrings?
No, we're both gonna put one on. We're gonna fuse.
Takes out a needle and just like holds his lobe and just
How did you
shoves
know?
the earrings in.
How did you know that really, really crazily like obscure reference that I was trying to use for my campaign? I'm kidding. Obviously, they don't let you fuse in dance.
Oh, that.
But if you detect magic, the earrings are not magical, but the cameo and the key are magical.
But the earrings are not.
Earrings are not.
They're just pretty.
Yeah, value judgment would tell you they're probably somewhere in the neighborhood of, for the pair, 50 gold pieces.
Not a bad price for an easy fund.
Yeah. Or a nice gift.
I think our fabulous bard over here should put them on.
Aw, it was a key to my heart the whole time.
And then what would you like to do?
All right.
To the basement.
Okay. So you go to
Yeah.
the cellar door, and it opens without issue. It is not locked. It does look like, as you are getting ready to open it, I do want to make sure you are aware that it does look like there is a strange-looking rock sitting on the doors, because they kind of go up at an angle a bit. And the rock has a giant rune on it. And when I say giant rune, I don't mean like a big rune. I mean like a rune in the giant language.
Big rune.
Thanks for clarifying.
Huge man.
Big rune.
Does anybody here speak giant?
No, but I do have comprehend languages.
Okay, if you want to take some time to cast it as a ritual, you will note that the
I can do
rune says guard.
Here, I thought it was going to say don't open dead inside.
But you're not inside yet.
Probably to let people know that there's something here guarding. That's generally what these mean. Either that or they had a really dumb guard and they had to lay out where he was supposed to stand.
If you don't like heat it or anything besides, you kind of open the doors after moving it, and there is kind of a, with the detect magic kind of still lingering, there is a kind of pop that happens. Like the stone itself isn't magical, right? And the door is not magical. But when the stone is removed from the door and the door is open, there's just a slight pop of blue magic. And blue in setting, if you aren't aware, is abjuration, which is typically defensive, warding kind of magic.
Don't worry, if there's a dragon, I'll protect you.
Yeah, but who will protect you?
Whoa. He doesn't need protecting. He'll just fly away.
Alan Usuro?
I was just trying to do a cliche. All right. In we go?
In we go.
Okay. The wooden stairs that you're walking down kind of creak even at your best, attempt to not make them. It seems that they're very old and worn, and you're able to tell, too, that they seem to have a bit of, waterlogging to them. Like they've been submerged before. And they still seem to have a bit of moisture in them. At the bottom of the steps, you have a slurry of a mess of a floor. It definitely looks like there is kind of just a mix of sand, mud, and a bit of water. It's nothing deep, maybe just like a millimeter or two of water kind of standing on the floor. But that's not the most interesting part of the space. It looks like the walls around you have shelves that have been kind of cut neatly into parts. And it looks like they've been cut in kind of strange angles. So think of a shelf, kind of looking at one head on, right? And it's almost like someone took a 15-degree angle perfectly, segmented the shelf, and then parted it. And in the space between where the shelf is and where the shelf was, there are holes that just bore down through the stone walls into very dark, very kind of creepy looking tunnels. There are 5 of these tunnels that exit out of this space. One goes directly northwest, and you can actually see down that tunnel far enough to realize that it connects this basement to the basement to the building next door. The other option you could have gone into. Oh, sorry. This one would be to the southeast, because you entered the northwestern building. So it connects to the other building. Go ahead, Tom.
Do these tunnels look like they're kind of naturally formed, or like something burrowed from one spot to the other?
You make a nature roll.
If I look through that journal that I got from Mr. Monster Hunter,
Bonus.
advantage?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Well, it was an 8 or a 9 base, so whatever you want to do with that.
That's it. That's all I want to do with that. It's going to be a 9. So you're looking through the book. You're kind of just distracted by, some information regarding wolves that can spit ice out of their face.
I mean, that is pretty fucking cool.
What?
Ha 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 ha! Cool. I see what you did. That's good. That's a good pun. Is it worth inspiration? No, it's not. But you're looking through
Close though.
the tunnels, and it does seem like you have one that kind of goes off in a slightly skewed cardinal position. So what I mean by that is if you look at the house you're in, which would be here, it looks like each one of the facing walls has a tunnel that exits out of it in that direction. The one tunnel you can kind of see where it goes is the one that goes towards the other house. And then the last direction is just due west, just straight shot westerly. And for these first bits, I do apologize. It is going to be a lot of theater of the mind until you get to certain sections of the under. I didn't want to build the whole damn system.
Oh no, you're good.
Very good.
Just making sure.
Okay, so one in each direction of the walls of the house,
Correct.
Are they big enough to crawl?
and then
through?
one to the west, direct west.
Correct. Straight shot west. And to answer Fox's question, they are tall enough for a man of a pretty extreme height to be able to walk down without touching their head to the top.
Perhaps a giant could walk down these.
Well, a Goliath for sure. Giant, not so much. Giants are about 15 to 20, 30 feet tall, so no, not that. But
So Diet Giant.
They'd have to army crawl.
Diet Giant could do it.
Giant giant.
The diet giant.
I think they were playing at the campus
That
bar
was
the
real
other
good.
night.
Okay,
I want to meet my new baby.
that's a good one.
Oh, a
Oh, you're
baby.
so cute.
Seems
guy.
good. Is that a cat or a dog? It's a cat.
It's a dog.
It's a dog?
With a puppy.
It's a
Oh,
cog.
I see. Oh,
It's a
that's
cat.
a dog. He was blending into your shirt as a little dog.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions about the basement you're in? regarding-
No.
See me.
My question is, which one are we going to send Orlandis down?
I was gonna go to the
Oh,
building
dude.
next door.
What's going on? Okay, so you're gonna send Orlandis down one? That's not what we do. Orlandis is the leader. What are you guys doing? That's jerkish.
I was saying that I wanted to get to the building next door.
Mutiny.
Oh my god.
This is a Scooby Doo episode. We gotta split the party now. Okay, you two go that way. You two go that way.
Y'all are wildin'. I just want to go through the tunnel that connects to next door.
Okay. So you go into the other basement, and similarly, the shelves look like they've been splintered or split in half at weird angles. It does look like, as you're kind of passing through and going into the next space, it looks like there's charring on the tunnel interior. Like it was scored out with heat, not so much like burrowed out or dug out.
Well, that's kind of spooky.
Sounds like we need some dogs that can spit ice.
Yeah, that would actually be helpful if we come up against whatever this is that made it.
And everybody was giving me guff about reading the wrong page.
It's called planning.
I have
Does it tell you where to find them there, Castia?
I lost the page. I don't know.
precognition or
I gotta buy you a bookmark.
Page
pre-dognition.
36.
Do not you dare judge me. That was great. You know. Anyway,
Good job.
pre-dognition.
Uh,
I'm happy with that. I mean, like, honestly, I could just end my entire career DMing. That was so
No.
perfect.
You-
Joking, obviously.
You got more.
I got more. I can do better.
Yeah.
Always try for the best.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions about the second room, tunnel-wise? Because it's one tunnel that's just going to continue on to the south east, and it looks like there is one that goes directly due south.
Is this in the second basement or the first
Correct,
basement?
second basement.
Okay, there's one going south and one.
So to just kind of give you some, I'm going to give you some doodles on the map because I have the power. Why not use it? I'm going to make these tunnels bright yellow so you can see them. Oops. And I'm
So
going-
that one going direct south would almost go under the temple
Temple.
here.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't go directly under, but depends on where it's at.
move this guy here for a second.
Ooh, under the guardhouse. Oh, okay. Let's go directly under the temple.
That help?
Yeah.
And does anybody have any questions about the basements you're in?
Do they look pretty much the same?
Not identical 100%, but it definitely does have very similar kind of effects. The ground is similar. It does look like the same kind of slurry is present there. And as you kind of look at it, you realize that there's also kind of dark, kind of colored sand in there. So it looks like whatever bore through, this is the remnant.
Oh, so it was going that way. Okay.
Well, no, it looks like it's in both sections. Like both basements have this all over the place. So at least
Oh,
one.
okay.
The sand is the remnant of the wall that got
Yeah.
melted.
One,
Okay, I see.
at least one tunnel's like materia is present on the floor of the space
Gotcha.
in each of those rooms because they had to enter.
Mm-hmm.
Nudging and sifting through kind of the muck on the floor with feet doesn't turn up that anything's still left behind from the shelves and stuff being hacked
Well,
apart.
The shelves themselves still have things on them. It just looks like they were split in some kind of irregular angle and then shifted to the sides.
What is on those shelves?
Sure. So in the first place that you enter into, it looks like there are a number of sandbags. And it looks like the sandbags were kind of in place to kind of ward against flooding that might have occurred and would have been brought up in emergencies. It looks like there's quite a lot of them, and you can actually see remnants at the split section of where bags were cut in half and kind of poured down. It's pretty similar in the second house. However, there's also a number of bottles present down here as well.
They look like potions, booze.
They're covered with muck themselves. They're kind of dirty, kind of just large green-colored glass bottles. So the contents you can't be certain of. And there don't appear to be any labels on them either.
Like they got worn away.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
there's remnants of labels, but there's no readable labels.
Mm-hmm. Stupid pen.
Pop
Take
the
those.
cork.
Okay. So if you pop one of the corks, you definitely get a smell that comes back at you that is very meaty. Just like a very meaty smell that kind of pops out of the bottle. And looking into it with a little bit of light from the top, the liquid inside is kind of like a mucky red, kind of almost brownish red color.
Did you mean mead? Sorry, did you mean mead with an D or a T?
I didn't say mead at all. Mucky red.
Meaty. No, earlier.
You
said
it
meaty,
Oh,
and I
sorry.
didn't know if you said it
Good
like
point.
MEAD or MA.
Meaty.
Steaky.
I went,
They
wait.
Steaky.
Steaky. Oh no, because I was like, ooh, meat.
Good old
Yum.
cis bloom.
No, it definitely
Now
has
things changed.
a more cooked
This-
flesh smell.
The stakes have changed. All right.
We're doing great. This is a good.
It
last
was
session
real
for the
bad.
year.
Don't.
You should
Our
see something
vampire
really
slayer's gonna go
special on my
jab
video.
one of these into a vampire's heart and sees what happens.
Steak. Oh, I get it.
Uh,
We're doing great. We're having fun. But yeah, it's a very kind of weird looking liquid, and as you kind of move it around, Ravik, the liquid doesn't seem to move with like a fully fluid kind of processing. There's like something in there that's a little bit more kind of sliding on the sides of the bottle.
Oh, it's viscous.
No, the liquid's not viscous. It just feels like there's something in there that's also in the liquid that's kind of like
Oh, like
mucky
a
red, you can't see it.
worm tequila bottle sort of thing,
it's larger than a worm.
like a snake.
No. Can't tell unless you open or break the bottle open.
Right.
But there's definitely something kind of more solid in the liquid.
Break it open.
If you take one and break it open, it shatters. The liquid kind of hits the ground with kind of like a wet, but at the same time kind of thick, kind of, and as it kind of mixes with the sand, it's very much like already ready to do it, and just kind of becomes kind of splot. But in the midst of the broken glass, you can see what looks like, and again, you can't be certain because it's definitely had some time in the bottle. It looks like a hand, like
Yum.
a person's hand.
Yum.
Delicious.
Give me that.
Well, wasn't expecting
We could have used that when I did the surgery.
Backup hand.
It could have come in handy.
Beat me to it.
No.
It's good. It's good.
I didn't even have to try on that one.
It just came right
It
naturally.
was right there.
It was the low hanging fruit.
It really was.
Yeah, but
It
the
was
point.
just handed to me.
But the point is you beat her handedly, and that's the point.
What?
Come on, get a grip. Let's
Oh wait,
keep
no.
going.
So she beat him handedly. I'm sorry. I tried. So yeah,
It's alright.
if you kind of take the bottles and kind
There's
of
a hand.
work at cleaning them off a bit, kind of trying to use light to kind of look into them to see what they might contain, it's not just hands.
No, it's like other pieces of body parts.
It's not just hands. And the fun part about it is shipping the bottle. You couldn't have poured the hand out, nor could you have put the hand in.
Was it
I'm not-
No, it
I'm not
wasn't
from-
growing in there.
I'm not from around here. Is this how they make wine here?
John, you got quiet.
Not that I know of.
I got
This is where
quiet.
gnomes come from.
What's up, Foxton?
So you were saying something, I couldn't hear you.
No. I was mouthing something. I was not saying. I was saying I don't know. To Elizabeth's inquiry regarding growing inside the bottles.
Homunculus.
So, yeah, all different types of parts. Some unmentionables. It looks like the jaw of someone, or a jaw. Definitely get vibes of a foot in another, and so on. Basically, it would fit in kind of like a wine or like slightly bigger than wine bottle. It's in there.
I don't think we should meet who used to live here.
Yeah, I'm good on this house. Maybe we should move on somewhere else. Usually pretty good with these things, but
Holy shit!
yikes.
But why
Yeah.
though?
But yeah.
Yikes.
I
Zoinks!
thought the vampires were bad, but this.
Why is it always in basements?
I know.
Is the door to this cellar can I try to go at it? Is it like locked too?
So if you go up to the cellar door in this base and you try to lift it, it looks exactly like the one up above, and you push it, and it definitely doesn't look like it has any method of like barring you from opening it. But the second you lift up just a little bit, a blue field appears on the door, and you cannot lift it. No matter how much strength you put into it, it feels like it is completely barred from opening. And the people who have Arcana trained immediately upon seeing that go, the stone that you pulled off of the other one is would probably cause the same effect on the door you opened, and there might be one on top of this one that's doing likewise.
Oh.
Based on what we found here, I'm starting to think we should put it back.
Yeah. I think they're trying to keep something down here. And not people from getting down here.
keeping something in instead of keeping us out.
Yeah.
Is our boat fixed?
I think we still got a day on that.
2.
Everyone? 2. Oh. Lovely.
Let's go to the church. Let's go.
Where's your sense of adventure?
I mean, I'm sure we could take it, whatever it is.
Just found a room full of necromancer's basement. It's
I mean, it can't be worse than a dragon, right?
I don't know. What if he has a bottled dragon?
Oh, that. Then
I look on the shelf for dragon parts.
So this room that you're kind of going through with all the bottles, some of them are broken, looking at the ground, it doesn't look like there's any parts or any remnants of living creatures like about, but you do see the remnants of broken bottles now that you kind of look at it. When you go and investigate all the bottles, they all seem to be humanoid parts. Like, again, some are undecipherable. If you're not trained in medicine, you're not really recognizing these. But if Cassia's trained in medicine and she's kind of looking at them, she's like, "Oh wow, a spleen!" Like, and everyone's like, "What the fuck's a spleen? What the fuck?" Well, let me explain.
I love spleens.
Yeah.
Our lizard buddy does.
Spleens and the liver are the best.
Delicious.
Delicious.
But yeah, there's definitely no non-human-esque parts. Whether they're human, like human, or if they're like elvish or what have you, there's really no way to decipher or discern them due to the weird state of kind of like, when stuff is pickled, it kind of gets that weird kind of like fluffiness to it. It's kind of got like strands of like ew coming off of it. That's kind of what they look like. You know what I'm saying?
So, Elizabeth, please add pickled human hand to your character sheet.
Wait, why
and
am
pickled spleen to the party treasury list.
Pickled spleen.
Thank you.
why am I getting the pickled hand though?
You're the party treasurer.
But why is it going specifically on my sheet and not just the party treasury?
You don't need a hand?
We're giving it to
No,
you.
I got 2, thank you.
Give her a hand, folks.
I think it's time to go down another tunnel.
Yeah.
All right, taking votes. Which way?
You have several options. In fact, you have a total of 6 options, and I am, I think, pretty much prepared to do any of them.
Well, great.
Oh, you said it south is to the temple.
Well, you would know kind of from up above.
It goes under.
Again, the lines are not exact. The directions are, but how far they go is not exact. I was just drawing them very quickly to kind of point what directions the tunnels go.
It goes in the direction of the temple.
Yes, that you would be able to, again, not being dwarvish, you still have a pretty good eye for what you saw up above. And yeah, that's a fair assessment you could make. It looks like it would go under the temple of
Halloween.
Halloween, yep.
My girl.
Our dear leader is coming back. Hold on. Please hold.
I wanna say welcome back.
Have a pickled foot.
I'll pass, thank you.
Captain, which way?
We could just
There you
keep
go.
going straight there.
Make Jonah choose.
It always ends great when Jonah chooses.
Well,
I agree.
the-
I believe
Can I?
heading southeast would be
I
a
want
good
to.
choice.
I want to stress though. Let Jonah choose, but don't blame him for what happens next. Okay?
Whoa.
I mean,
Whoa.
I've given my suggestion.
Which
So
is
we just came from which direction?
So we came through this tunnel here in the middle, and we are
Yeah.
in this house right now.
Okay. Let's go to church.
So go south?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know
Alright.
if it goes to the church. We just know it goes in that general.
Yeah. We know it
In
goes
my
south.
experience,
towards
any
the
ground that a church is involved in usually has bodies of some sort, whether they're worth digging up.
All right.
Great news! This one did too.
Question, real quick. Orlandis doesn't have dark vision. Do you have a torch?
Um,
I can
Oh,
put
yeah.
light on his shield.
There you go.
okay. I do have a torch though, but yeah, I'll take the light.
Okay. So you head down this tunnel, and you come to a point at the end of the tunnel, which is somewhere around, let me double check my math. I'd say about 70 or so feet down the way. Which again, for those who are keeping track, would probably overshoot the temple. You come to a point where there is a wall that does not look like it is of the same kind of structural material that you came from. And it also doesn't look like it's made of the same material entirely. But it looks like you have kind of a round area of kind of burnt out circle. You can kind of see the charring in the circle on the edge. And it looks like the exterior of this wall that you've come to is not too different from the dwarvish walls, but the center portion of the wall looks like it's been filled in. Bricks have been kind of laid and cut to kind of fill the hole precisely, and there's just like goops and goops of mortar that have kind of dried over on your side of it, like it was built from the other side. And no effort to clean this side was done.
Definitely try to keep something in.
Can I just preface shield out, hood on?
That's fine. Shield out.
Do we want to keep going then?
You could attempt to break the wall. That is possible. The bricks.
Or there's other tunnels.
Here's my thought on if we break the wall. That's gonna make a lot of noise. We don't know what's down those other tunnels. For all we know, we could end up, no offense, like rats stuck in a corner and have nowhere else to go. So I would, while I am definitely intrigued as to what could be on the other side of the door, I think we should at least get an idea what else is down here, because all this burning makes me think there was a dragon in a bottle, but there definitely isn't now.
Could Orlandis poke the wall with a sword just
Yeah.
to see if it's wall textured or like the weird
Wall textured.
monster?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely wall textured. It feels like you've dealt with regular, just good old fashioned like red bricks, right? In real life.
Yeah.
That's basically the feeling you get. It like size,
Okay.
width, structural integrity, etc. As you kind of tap the blade, you're getting kind of like the metal paying back from the sword, but you're also getting kind of like that hollow kind of hitting a brick wall kind of sound.
Gotcha. Okay.
So pick another tunnel?
I think it's probably best to know what else might be down here, since something is supposed to stay down here.
Okay.
Yeah, let's track back.
You head on back to the room with the bottles. I'm assuming there were some parts that were kind of left on the ground. People didn't pick up the juicy meat parts and put them anywhere, right?
I mean, Elizabeth wouldn't take the pickled hand, so it was probably still there.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing no longer is.
Well, when you come to look at the space and kind of back into this room, the wetness of the bottles is still present. Like the sand still has that kind of dampness to it, but again, it was already kind of damp, so it's also kind of red and mucky. And where the parts were, you can see that there's like a thick shape of the hand or the part that kind of got broken. It's almost like it's slowly liquefying. And it's kind of in this halfway state where you can see the bones are actually starting to kind of become like jelly, and the hand, like skin and meat, is kind of sloughing off the bones.
Gross.
Delicious. It's my favorite.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Shimmy is like,
With
oh, that sounds like churu. Can I have some churu? I like
With,
churu.
between Arcana and Medicine, would Cassidy be able to tell if it was some kind of natural preservation technique or some kind of magical thing keeping it
I will,
pickled and not disintegrating?
I will allow for an Arcana check, but it's going to be a pretty high DC. DC 25. No.
Not quite.
No.
It is definitely not natural, though. I'll give you that.
Disgusting.
It is
Delicious.
fucking awesome. So, passageways. Which one do you wish to go down?
I'll go with the original one then. This one.
So just keep going southeast.
Okay. Perfect. So, when you continue on down this path, it goes for a time. Like, it's kind of windy and a bit, it doesn't take any, like, hard, like, 90-degree angle turns or anything like that. It just kind of, like, does, like, a little bit of this. And it's very kind of strange, too, because in some parts, the material that you're walking inside of changes. It's, at first, very solid kind of ground, rock material. Then it comes to a point where, like, you can see up ahead, like, dust falling from above. And you can also hear what sounds like the movements of things above you. Which is strange, because you are pretty sure you're pretty deep beneath everything, having descended through a building and into a basement to get to this location. So you're not quite sure where on the map you've ended up. But you do come to a point where... Oh god, where's the map? Bear with me. Bear with me. You do come to a point where there is yet another kind of sealed up, bricked up wall. However, this one already looks like it has kind of breaking to it, and it allows you to kind of look into the space beyond. And let me just make sure I have everything set up for that. Do 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 do. Perfect. Okay, so who wants to take a peek into the space?
I'll take a peek since I can usually see furthest in darkness.
Okay,
Here. Be right behind her.
that makes sense. So Castia, as you
Robert's gonna stick his ear to the wall.
Ah, my virgin eyes!
as you peer into this space, I'm going to go ahead and pull you all onto a map. And let's see if the new stuff works. Oh, cool, the music changed too. That's awesome. Do you see anything
Nope.
I do not.
interesting? Let's see.
I see the results of my critical failed perception roll from earlier.
It's still doing the don't give Cassia her night vision trick. Okay, cool. Now, how about now?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Is Castia on the map? Is the question.
Better?
Yes, now I can see.
Okay.
I cannot.
I do not like what I can see, but I can see.
God.
All right.
Well, you see.
So, what you see directly in front of you is a line of salt. It looks like it's in a perfect circle. However, inside of the circle and in spots outside of the circle, there are blood splashes. You can see that this blood is kind of everywhere in the space in front of you. And it looks like there is a pair of makeshift benches and seats that are kind of present on the opposite side. Looking at the space, it either looks like a magic circle but as your arcana kind of like flares, you're pretty sure it's not. Maybe some sort of ritual that's more tradition than like magic. And you can hear what sounds like a kind of cooing sound inside of the space. If you kind of try to
Cooing?
peer through, you see
Like a baby coo.
you see two wooden cages, and it looks like they have baby owlbears inside of them.
Babies.
Little owl bears.
I think
We're
I think we
adopting
found a
them.
fight club.
A what?
I think they've got owl bears in cages, and like there's a ring, and there's blood everywhere, and there's like seats for people that I'm assuming is to watch.
That's disturbing.
These are all good assumptions.
I don't like that.
I feel like this whole town is just bad.
I'll start moving people onto the maps because I'm assuming there's kind of like a oh, it's doing it again. Hold on.
Like a shifting of.
Well,
Yeah.
the wall.
Let me look. Let me look.
Yeah, let me look is what's happening.
Oh, this map.
We're just all climbing over each other to peek through this hole. What?
So
What do you see?
What do we see?
everyone can see, yeah. The damage to the wall, as you're kind of inspecting it, you would note that it looks like it's as if something kind of very large kind of pushed against the bricks and kind of forced them back a bit.
Like a baby owl bear.
Or a person,
From this side, the side that we're on.
other side.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can't see.
you're at the indentation. It's kind of broke open, which allows you to kind of peer in.
What is my animal handling? 0.
I cannot see.
Oh, weird. Oh yeah, because you're a human.
I'm a human.
Womp womp.
You missed the whole existential crisis before the game.
Yeah.
You mean before every game?
I knew I should have taken animal companion.
All day.
So you flare the light in there a bit, Orlandis, after everybody's gotten their peek and are kind of confused and questioning, and you're able to see what you see.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say Astrogoth and Vravik are probably the most likely to know what this might be. Go ahead and make history checks, the two of you. Okay, so Vravik, you know that popular kind of underground events can include fight clubs, like was suggested by Castia.
It's dog fighting, but with owlbears.
There could be dog fighting, but they wouldn't typically keep the creatures that would be fighting against one another so close to themselves. And having two owlbears kind of locked in a basement with a ring like this is not typical.
Disposal.
So what's probably more likely is that somebody or people are put into the ring, or something that bleeds quite a lot is put into the ring, and the owlbears are then let loose upon that person.
Oh, not pets.
And then the people outside watch.
Jesus.
Well.
I think we should release the owl bears.
I think those
I think
owl
that's a
bears are gonna
horrible
claw our
idea.
face out. You see that blood on the floor?
Go
That's
walk
gonna be
over to them. See if
us.
they try to attack you first. Hold on. Break the wall down.
I think whatever this little ring is going on over here, probably best to stay out of it. Because I don't think that those are going to be very friendly. Just based on
You
all
said
the
the
blood.
ring was made out of salt.
Yes.
Oh, I wish I had a higher arcana, but
It didn't seem magical when I.
Well, meta knowledge is that typically salt is used as a way to bind something and keep something in.
Mm.
Correct. And if you have Arcana trained, I'll say that that's something your character would know. That's fine.
I don't. That's the thing.
Okay. If someone else has Arcana trained,
Castia does, yes.
she would be able to pick up what Zach just spoke into existence. I'm okay with that.
So I read a book once.
You were literally.
She's like, yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
When you go into the same circles I have, you hear a lot of things.
Hopefully not that circle.
There you go. Okay.
That's not that circle.
The gladiator circle. Good.
Well, we found body parts and bottles, a sacrifice pit. Let's see what the other tunnels have. Let's see how much worse this town can get.
At this rate, I'm gonna put a gold that it's a zombie.
I'm gonna put 1 gold on vampire dating game show.
Oh, that would suck. I've used that one before, unfortunately.
What is your obsession with vampires?
We're not
They
going to
were-
talk what's on my shelf.
They were kind of fucking up the town that adopted me. That's all I'm saying.
That makes sense.
That's true.
Yeah.
Rat and dragons, just...
And dragons, yeah.
Let's see.
There was one of those.
I'm trying to see who, if any of you.
See, I thought about it. That was the feat I was going to take, was training me in Arcana history.
Orlandis and Losate.
Nature.
Orlandis and Losate, you have perception trained, correct?
Oh, yeah.
I'd like the two of you to go ahead and make perception checks.
I don't like the sound of that, but I got an 8.
Orlandis, you walked a good distance. And as you're kind of sitting there looking at the space with your light, you kind of stop for a second, and people are talking, you're kind of like... Everybody shuts up for a second. You listen again. And you can hear... Does the sound I'm making... do you understand
Yeah, sometimes,
A
yeah.
little bit of it.
Whoosh, whoosh,
Whooshing.
Like water splashing, right?
like waves, yeah.
Waves, okay.
Oh, so
So
we're
by the ocean.
real close.
Orlandis is gonna try to go in a little deeper right here.
Okay,
To
you
break
have
the wall down
to
first.
break the wall down to do so.
Oh, never mind. I thought we were in the room.
No, you're
No.
the wall kind of burgeoned out, right? And there's like cracks in the space, like decent sized ones, and you can peer into it. But
Mm.
And you said that the bricks looked like something was trying to push in to get into the room or out of the room.
it's like something slammed into the wall,
Okay.
like once, maybe twice, and it looks like the indentation of them kind of has left the bricks in a state of brokenness. No bricks have fallen in towards you, but some of the bricks have kind of like the interlace is kind of broken enough that you can kind of see through them.
Right. My thought, I just want to make sure, because my thought is if it was the reverse, that would put another tally in the keeping something in
Yeah,
check.
this is the opposite. Yeah, it definitely is.
I'm getting the impression that neither inside or outside of here is good.
All towns suck.
So I still have the large glass sides from those creatures that we fought in the Fey realm. Like, are they sturdy enough to where I could get like leverage and just sort of like
if you're
like,
trying
pull-
to break the bricks, you can. Like, that's not a thing. You definitely have the strength. You are a
Oh.
muscly Parnan man. You can push the bricks down. They're already ready to go. It's going to take a little effort, not like a shit ton of effort, but it's going to take some time. And the other thing is the wall is Humpty Dumpty.
Gotcha,
Once,
gotcha.
once it's broken, it's broken. I think
Like
that's
if one more person was probably slammed into that wall from that side, it probably would have busted open, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I want to open the wall.
You open the wall. If no one is stopping you, you are allowed to open the wall.
Ugh.
Give him a side eye, but not gonna
It's-
stop him.
All right. You can enter into the space at this point, no problem.
Alright, the lettuce is gonna go here.
Okay.
I'm gonna avoid the cages as best as possible. And the circle.
So, looking at the circle, you can see that there's a couple things that you can notice about it that are true when you're closer. First off, it looks like there is a line of paint drawn, and you can see the bucket where the paint comes from. But it also looks like someone scattered salt over top of the paint, and the paint acts as kind of a glue for the salt, keeping it
Okay.
locked in place. You can also see parts where blood is kind of dashed across the salt, and you're kind of the opinion that if it were just salt, this might have washed the salt away. So it
Mhm.
seems that they have taken special efforts to ensure that the circle remains A, circular, and B, covered in salt.
Okay.
The owlbear look at you and start biting with their beaks onto the wooden bars, kind of like crushing on the wood. But what you can tell is the wood is very, very, very sturdy. It definitely looks like there are a number of these areas where claw marks and bites have kind of touched against the wooden um, bars of the cages. But it doesn't look like they've made much progress in kind of breaking the wood or snapping it. And Orlandis, you know why. The wood in question is dark wood. It's very, very sturdy, elvish wood that is claimed to come from the One Wood, which is either parts of the Feywild that still maintain the old Kashaathian kind of strength, or places in the real world which are less common, where the dark wood or iron wood is present, and it's remnants of when the world was covered with one forest.
Gotcha. I've been hit a couple times by Darkwood. I know.
I remember.
You're an expert.
I'm an expert.
Kind
Alright.
of an expert. I've done this before.
I'm gonna keep on going.
Okay. You going up the
Make
stairs?
Yeah.
The rest of us are just sitting in the hole looking like
So
just off watching.
looking at the space around, it looks like there are some jars of water near the owlbear, and then there are some jars of water near the places where they're at. But these look like mostly washcloths and the like. There are boxes, and there are a bunch of tankards, some with ale still in them, which is maybe a day or two old, you'd think. But yeah, the staircase leads up, and it leads up to a position. Sorry, bear with me here. It leads up to a position that is hidden amidst boxes and barrels. The barrels are kind of covered with cobwebs, some of them are not. The boxes all have a same-ish marker on them. The marker in question you've seen before. You saw this marker on the docks. This is the marker of the Bandit King.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
When you kind
Is
of
battle?
when you kind of come out, you would see that you're inside of a very small room, stone building, wooden door. On your side of the door, there is a number of locks, but it looks like you're on the side where you can just kind of open them. But it looks like there's probably about 6 locks in place on this side of the door.
Gotcha. Is battle ergot sign language, or is it like tapping as well?
It can be both, yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna tap to say that there's some casks here, or not casks, but like Bandit King storage stuff here.
Okay. So kind of simple messages you deliver down. Danger, the like. And
Probably bandit or something. The thief.
yeah,
Danger. Danger, thief. I don't know.
that's fine.
it.
When you look around, though, is there anything you want to do in this space besides?
I see the locks. I'm gonna continue to look for anything that isn't.
And the sound I mentioned before that you were only able to hear is now more audible, and you think that everybody else would be able to pick up on it at this point as well. You can hear the ocean. It's right
Okay.
outside.
All right. Are they all Bandit King property?
No, the
Crates?
the crates are. The barrels are not. The barrels have a very simple lettering on them, and it says, what does it say? It
Wait, I'll
says,
go upstairs.
it says Whiskey Warehouse.
Okay. Where is it?
If you head upstairs, I'll move you.
Okay.
Oh, whoosh.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, if we're all going up, we're all going up.
Castia does like to talk to the animals, but those owlbears don't seem like they're very conversational, so
Kind of cagey.
a little.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. So. You're in
I'll
this
grin and bear it.
Owl, Grin, and Bear It.
That'd be a great name for a lawyer's office.
Yeah, it would.
Oh, great. Then get it.
John's like,
Did you drink bad
regret
whiskey from
bringing
Whiskey
this up.
Warehouse? Come down to
Owl, Grin,
I'll
and Bear
grin
It.
and bear it.
Owl, Grin, and Bear It.
And the people who run this place are watching it, and it's like the middle of the day, right in the middle of Price is Right, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
They're in the house.
They're in the warehouse. Quick.
And they rush in.
The commercial is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, it's just an Astrogoth inside of their secret lair.
We came out of a secret tunnel into their television set. We're like, hey!
It doesn't have to make sense.
No, I'm just picturing the scene from Family Guy where they're Anne Frank and Peter's
Oh.
up in the attic and he just like eats a potato chip. What?
So yeah. Do you wish to exit the building or remain?
Remain.
What remains?
Well,
This
then.
remains.
Can I search the chest, the boxes?
Sure. The boxes have a number of bottles in them. The bottles in question appear to be markered as being from Serio. And looking at the bottles, Ravik, you would recognize them as being a Singay local, like Singay being the cat or one of the larger cities in Serio. It appears that this is like a very well-known whiskey house that crafts very, very delicious whiskeys. And the whiskey bottles inside of these boxes ranges in dates from like, the 40s to like, more recently. So anywhere between like, 2 and like 15 years old.
I'm gonna take the 3 oldest bottles I can find.
You find a 15, a 12, and a 10.
You might want to check to make sure there's no hands or spleens in those.
He
Yeah, I
opens
wouldn't
one,
wanna
takes a
drink
drink,
that.
takes a drink just to test it.
It's really good. It's really.
No.
I don't know if you've had 15
Grab it!
or 10-year-old whiskey, but yeah,
Oh, that shit's fire.
it's really good.
I had a really good 20-year-old one.
Oh my
At
god.
one point. Oh, shit's
I
good.
wish I had money. I would spend it on stupid shit.
The taste of home!
I didn't buy that bottle. I didn't buy that bottle,
I
just to be
wouldn't.
clear.
I wouldn't either.
There are some fucking insane Renaissance fair people
Fair.
who brought out a 40-year bottle at one point, and I went, fuck.
Madness.
I didn't know him well enough to get your sip.
Fair.
Anyway.
Give me
Are
a
we going
beacon.
out the door, or are we going back into the basement?
I vote back in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
We
we
don't
should,
want to pop out this secret door, this locked up door, like, hey!
Well,
For all we know, there's
Hello there.
someone sitting outside.
I do want to stress a couple of things. You can hear the waves right outside of the walls, and the door appears to be an exterior door.
Mhm.
Should we take a look
Well,
at
I'm
the
just
beacon?
imagining that.
Is there an
there's-
old cartoony lock that you can peer through the hole?
No, unfortunately not. They're more in line with like solid padlocks and deadbolts that have been kind of built into the frame.
Oh,
And no peephole.
No people.
Sounds like we're near the beach.
Bravik being kind of rogue affiliated, and Astrogoth similarly too. Your presumption is that everybody who goes into this place has one key of the number of keys, and they all go in together or they don't go in at all.
That makes sense.
Telling you, I should take the whiskey. It's freaking great.
I'll take a bottle.
You managed to get a 10-year-old one.
Nice.
To the tunnel.
Yeah, to
Not
the
even
tunnel.
checking out the door. Not even looking where you're at.
You know what?
Well, when
fuck
you put it that
Okay,
way.
fine. Bravik will very quietly unlock the locks and peek his head out.
I mean, if there is somebody out there, we just tell them we must have taken a wrong turn at the Astral Sea and just turn back
Okay.
around. It's fine.
So this is a very big map, as I can assure you it's the case. But the location that you are popping out of is this building here.
That tracks.
Neat.
Well, now we know where the Bandit King is.
And yeah, the door opens on the other side. The map is kind of... it's upside down. But yeah, you can, as you open the door, you can see the ocean. You can see the little steps that lead to the nice little restaurant on the island. And you got a feeling that you're like, you know, somewhere in the kind of broken down neighborhood.
Well,
Back,
now we know.
back in?
Yep.
Back and slowly
Make it-
close the door. Click, 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 click.
Back into the tunnelway.
We're never here.
Back into
Close the crate.
Back into the
Put up a couple bottles, make it look like it's still full. Just,
back into the broken hole in the wall.
Yeah.
no, put the brick back.
Nobody has carpentry. And then into the
That'd be good. Just fucking stack them all half-handed. Like, oh no, they just fell on their own.
must have been an
Earthquake.
Earthquake happened. They must have just, they fell this way.
It
What
just
we should
takes-
Throw
still
all
do
the
is
bricks-
just push
throw the
them
bricks
into
through a hole, into the hole.
tunnel,
So it makes it look
in
like they fell
towards
out.
the tunnel, so it looks like it fell out instead of in.
So you want it to fall into the tunnel or out of the tunnel?
Yeah, so like
Yeah,
it, or
throw
like
the
maybe
bricks
like
into
an
the
even
tunnel.
split. That way it looks like it crumbled.
Oh, I get you.
He wants to make it look like it fell the way that it was already falling.
Like it fell
Just to
down.
finally
Try,
get
try,
back.
try to cover
Yeah.
our tracks here.
Gotcha. If you'd like, I'm assuming nobody here has carpenter tools, right?
I have
I can-
smith tools. That's
I
the
can
best I
cast
got.
mending 35 times.
Mending's not going to help because the bricks aren't broken.
Mhm.
The mortar broke. So it's kind of hard because now when an object breaks and becomes smaller objects, it's hard to make it turn back into the same object. If that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Quick, enchant it to make it look like it's not broke.
I will allow for, if you'd like, one person to roll untrained carpenter's tools, and since it's more about like making it look like it's supposed to be right versus actually making it right, I'll let you make it with charisma. And since mending will be involved, I'll grant you advantage on the check. So one person can make a charisma check to make the bricks look right.
Well,
I-
I think time for me to charm the fuck out of this wall.
Hell yeah.
All right, I will make the charisma roll with advantage. You said.
Yep. Yeah. So you kind of get back inside, kind of piece together the bricks, kind of stacking them on your side, then slowly putting them together as best you can, and knocking a couple of them down on both sides so it looks like it just naturally fell apart. And then after about 30 minutes of that work, you kind of fuck off and just head back down the tunnel.
Hell yeah.
What can't you do?
Amazing.
You clearly. I mean, what?
Too young.
She's
Too
pretty
young.
sure she's a. Pretty sure she's
Rabbit gives him a
underage.
high five. Looks great.
Bar don't care.
She's just a baby.
Sarth would like to know your location.
Accurate.
Blafeld, why don't you have a seat? Why don't you... Anyway, focusing up. You head back. You get back to our favorite room that we've ever been in. And
Best.
yeah,
Is the hand completely dissolved now?
pretty much. There's like a hand-shaped kind of like red marker inside of the kind of like ruddy water that's kind of set inside of a mass of water that's on the ground.
Great. Through this one, and then
Back to the 4. So yeah.
This one? Oh.
I vote north.
Alright, that's fine.
We got to vote for north. We got to vote for south. We got other people. Cassia, Ashergot, Orlandis. Any ideas on which direction you'd like to go?
We tried south and it was blocked, right?
No, not directly south. We're in the other building. We're going kind of southwest.
Oh, okay.
So I voted this one.
North.
Foxen voted this one.
This way goes deeper into the jungle, and I like the fact that there might be danger. But this way goes deeper into the city. Could lead here.
It could, and there could also be danger down there.
Yeah.
Alright,
Danger
we'll go
lies
this way.
everywhere.
This way,
Okay.
Which way?
North.
North?
North.
the Foxen way.
Okay. I thought Voxen wanted to go south.
No, that was me.
Oh, fair. Okay, so we
Foxen voted this one. I voted this one.
Okay. I mistick the pings.
You're good. You're good.
The pings. So we are heading there, and we are heading. Where is it? Where is it? Yes. No. Yes. Yeah. No.
Maybe.
Maybe. Where is it? Sorry, bear with me here, folks.
How many rooms do you got made already?
Oh, it's a shit ton. It is a shit ton.
This is amazing. Like, yeah, I'm gonna explore all these places.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
I believe in you.
I want to come out of this well, right?
Well.
I'm genuinely confused.
South it is.
No.
I'm kidding.
We're already here. I'm gonna find it. It's happening. We're doing this. But
I believe in you.
I got us into the dragon fight.
what the fuck, though? Did I pull all my sword breaks?
Ooh.
When I made this game?
I don't know, I made you break stuff.
That's the one. I didn't pull it. That's funny. So when I was pulling stuff for this, because again, I didn't know you guys were gonna end up in fucking sword break.
Let's go.
I kind of didn't pull everything correctly.
You
So,
know, that's fine.
I
It's our
found-
fault.
I found it. It's okay. We're good. And then, make sure the lighting's set up. It is. Saving that. Okay. Checking the lighting. Also good. Entering into the space.
I can't wait to not see anything.
So again, angling is incorrect, but you kind of wind and move and make your way and are continuing on through into another space. And the tunnel is fine until it comes to a point where it kind of turns to the right very sharply and seems to kind of very quickly terminate and get cross-sected or bisected by another passage. Who's leading? Who's the first person?
Our fearless leader, Orlandis?
Oh yeah.
That makes the most sense. Man, music, why are you
I
so
can
loud?
see. I can see
I
both.
can see.
Ah!
Oh, I see.
Our boat's fixed!
Dynamic lighting.
We was
on,
all a dream.
save settings. Don't go back
It's
into the
all
VOD.
nightmare.
Don't go back into the VOD. Don't look at stuff. Turkeys. I swear I changed it up. Okay, so Orlandis, you're on the map. You don't have sight though, right?
Yes.
He has light, but that's
Okay. Well, I said like right now you're not seeing anything is what I mean. I know you have light. It just
Yeah.
it didn't come over because I very quickly had to.
Not seeing that.
They use off the map.
Can't see shit.
Okay, how about now?
Nope.
The black square and a white void.
Oh my God, what is going on?
I believe in you.
we did take a wrong
square.
turn in the astral sea.
Hello,
Like, getting my
darkness,
Stevie Wonder on right now.
friend.
I knew I should have worn my work helmet. I'm dead.
But why though?
Corkay.
Details. Orlandis is his character. Yes. Save.
Is it out on the field?
Uh-huh. Oh, I see. I see. How about now?
There it is. Now I can see.
Okay. So
I can't.
you kind of come in through this tunnel way. It's really dark and kind of creepy. And like I said, there's this dead end, right? And it
Mhm.
kind of, as you kind of come around the corner, you can see up ahead, it looks like it kind of splits. There's going to be a path to the right and a path to the left. It does look like there's a little bit of light splaying to the left. But
Okay.
not a lot. Just enough to kind of notice. Who would be
I'll
right
move on.
behind Orlandis?
Me.
Heard.
I'll move up. I'll move
Okay,
up.
you should be able to freely move.
I can't see.
Oh
so-
god, I'm so small. Everything was black, so I didn't know where we were.
Oh,
Okay.
what the hell?
Um,
There we
this
are,
wall-
way over there. Damn.
This wall here doesn't.
So that's not a wall.
Here.
That's a passageway. It continues on.
This one.
Mm-hmm. But again, it's a situation where if you continue down that path, we go back to the map and we
Oh, okay.
go over
Okay.
that.
All right. Yeah. So then I
But
go.
since you don't know where you're at, these pathways are just going to be kind of like similar to the other houses. But yeah, Astrogoth, and last but not least, Castia, whose vision will be fucked up indefinitely. Always, yes.
Yes, I can see a very thin sliver. Okay, I think that's
That's about right. That's all
Okay,
I can see.
So,
too.
Orlandis, when you come into this space, you see a couple of things that are going to kind of put you to be a bit confused. First off, you see rats, and it looks like they are just having the greatest munch old time. They've spread off from whatever they're munching, and it looks like they're just kind of like eating in their own little corners, having a good old time. The light that I mentioned seems to be coming from above, and your guess is it's daylight, you think? Kind of coming from a space above. But when you look up, you can see that there is a ceiling, kind of like a raftered ceiling of an interior of a building. And there's also this very strange smell kind of coming from above, like almost aromatic. It's very girly. It's definitely very kind of like perfumey, I guess is the best way to say it.
Floral?
It's floral's right, but not right. I mean to say it's like it's definitely just it smells like liquid.
Smells like a girl.
It smells like liquid plants and floweries and candies and like warm cat bellies. It just smells.
It smells like you
Warm
made a
cat belly?
you went through that one section of Macy's.
Yeah, exactly. And have you ever smelled a warm cat belly?
I'm allergic
No.
to cats.
What about when it's full of soup?
That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, that's what you're looking up at, and that's what kind of the vibe you're getting. But that scent is kind of like a bit muted down here, due in part to the fact that there's a dead body that looks like it's been down here for maybe a few days. But it definitely looks like it's had a lot of it removed from itself, and those rats are eating good.
They live in the life.
Some of the rats kind of scamper off. Some of them stay not giving a fuck. But some of them scamper off, and when they do scamper, they head down that passageway that you thought you wanted to go down. Looks like that's the direction they had.
Okay. I'm gonna check the dead body.
Okay.
Just to get
And they
some
don't see-
identification.
And they don't see Ravik as some kind of like god.
I'm gonna reach my head down. Hey, buddy.
No. So that's not how.
Offer some cheese.
I know.
Yeah.
The cheese god.
Fuck.
So the individual in question appears to be a halfling, and the reason why the image there, like the legs you can see, are quite short. They're not as long as a normal person's. But the reason why you start to figure that the person in question looks taller isn't because they are. It's because they were ripped in half.
Nice. Alright.
Like shelves.
So the
So
top
that's
half
how you
and-
get taller.
The top half and the bottom half seem to be segmented apart, and then the top half, more so than the bottom half, looks like it's been picked apart so that the skeleton is showing.
Alright.
This guy here has a part of an arm bone, and he's having a good old time. But they look like they've been feasting for a couple of days at least.
Alright. Is this a pathway?
Also a pathway.
Alright, so I'll take it. I'll go down
It's
that.
going to go for a while. So if we're going down that pathway,
Oh.
we're taking the whole crew.
Oh, never mind that. Okay.
Same with this one.
Correct? Same with the one with the rats going down it, and then there's a dead end over here.
The dead end.
Yep, you kind of go around to it. It just kind of. But this one, unlike most dead ends you found, does not end in bricks. Instead, it ends in a massive charring. And Ravik, if you would like, you can go ahead and make a nature roll.
Do a taste test.
Lick, 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 lick.
18.
Smell.
So it looks like, from what you can tell, whatever caused the burning did so with kind of like a clawing motion. Like he was pulling down on the stone with like super hot kind of claws or super hot kind of like a super hot blade.
Super cat.
It's not hot.
Gorge claw marks.
Can it be told, or does it look like it could be recent at all?
At least a couple of days ago.
Oh.
Oh, only a couple of days.
Same as the body.
Relatively fresh looking then.
Same as the body. If Cassia, you want to make a medicine check, you can go ahead and do so on the dead halfling.
Oh. We lost Jonah.
We got Jonah. He's just not in Discord right yet.
15?
Yeah.
15. So you would definitely be able to confirm that he was torn in half. Whatever tore him in half did so by force, violently, pulling one side from the other. This doesn't look like it was the goal wasn't to eat him or devour him, because whatever did it was definitely not rats. It looks like it was just one go, just pull and pop.
Base.
You'd also see that there's blood trailing kind of on the slick sand, which is also kind of a slurry like the other basements. And it looks like there might be some on the broken wood around the hole above you.
From the fact that something scorching hot clawed at a wall, does it look like when it was ripped in half, any like flesh was cauterized or wounds were cauterized? Like,
So the problem with that question is that the parts that might have been kind of discernible are gone. However,
that's kind of what
the
I think.
pants and the shirt, which are very pajama-y, do look like they were burned in parts.
Is there a hole in the roof?
Yeah, mentioned at the beginning, and that's where the scent of floral kind of shit is coming from.
I'm gonna climb up to the hole.
Okay, so you kind of scurry up and then kind of get up there, and Again, it's like right in the center of the ceiling there. And you pop out behind what looks like a bar of some sort, or like a merchant's kind of shop, kind of vendor station. And there are spider webs all over the space. Being a bit of a spelunker and kind of understanding like how spider webs form without constant care, your guess is probably like 2, maybe 3 days worth of spider webs kind of on this stuff and dust. When you first come up, you can see that the floor looks like it was pulled inwards, like down, and you can see what appears to be a very nasty looking blood trail, as if something was just dropping blood onto the floor as it was being moved. That seems to come from a door that's slightly askewed, and the door looks open, like it's been left open. It's ajar, but it looks like the handle of the door has some burning on it, but it looks like it was opened. Like it doesn't look like it was
ripped open. It was just like
Oh
it's like someone actually
this
reached.
guy got dragged out of bed in the middle of the night.
Well, yeah, but somebody with burning like claw hands reached down and turned the doorknob and opened it, not rushed through the door with like claw hands.
Really stealthily, just came in here and assassinated this poor guy.
You go into the bedroom and you would see that there is a cage, not too dissimilar from the cages you saw the owlbears in, just a slightly smaller one. A very, very deceased, like, there was a person in this bed, and then there were 2 parts of that same person in this bed. So you're seeing the aftermath of what Castia was describing. The other thing you notice is there's a bottle on the floor that has the same kind of, like, weird... It's not the same color on the map, but it is the same color for your purposes. The same color of the jars that or the bottles you found in the second basement.
Does it smell the same?
The smell in here is very coppery, and that seems to kind of like override everything else. Like the smell of blood, lots and lots of blood. I don't know if you've ever dealt with that before. Okay, yeah, it's not great, and that's overriding a lot of things. But your guess is the fluid and the bottle are very similar, if not from the same source as the jars or the bottles back in the second basement. But inside of this space, you've got all different types of potions, bottles. There are some, articles of import on here, like starfish, other kind of things like sand dollars and the like that might be used for potion creation. There are vials over on this side, a number of different chairs kind of placed here and there. And it looks like you're inside of some sort of like nice little potion store. And the sign...
There's a door right here?
It is a door. It looks like there's a curtain over a window in the center of the door. When you kind of peel back that curtain, you would see that there's a sign that looks like it's been flipped to closed. And roll a D100.
Oh, lordy. 36.
Yeah, so as you open up the window, kind of look out, there's a very quick second where you see that there's a person outside, kind of looking around confused, like they don't understand why the store might be closed, and I need you to make a stealth check.
They close at 9 and it's 8:50. Do you think they'll let us place an order?
No.
Well, what your presumption is they're not supposed to be closed at these hours. You very quickly kind of push the curtain back as the person's slowly starting to turn in your direction, kind of looking around like, what's going on? Why is this place closed? And you kind of just zip out.
Do the vials on the counter look valuable?
Yeah, there's a lot of potions, man. If you want to just start like checking them, taking sips to figure out what they are, and stealing them, you can.
I'm just going to steal them. I'll check them later.
Okay. Well, then I'll just go ahead and tell you what to write down so that we can just deal with that now and set up later. So you've got 3 potions of advantage, 1 potion of aqueous form, 1 potion of fire giant strength, 2 potions of fire breath, 3 potions of flying, 1 potion of growth, and and 1 potion of speed, 3 potions of vitality.
How many growth was it? 1?
1, yeah.
1 vitality.
3 vitality.
3 vitality. Okay. Oh, a lot of potions.
It's a potion shop. It's a potion.
Score! What else is here?
Everything
Hold
else.
on. I need to go throw a rope to Lose. Get up here and loot this place.
I mean, it sounds like there's
I
a
did say
quarterling
be
down
right
here
back.
still.
I'm gonna start tossing all the little pieces on these counters down the hole. Potion.
I didn't grab all of the numbers.
Okay, going back on it then, I'll get you again.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I got it. 3
I said I was gonna be right back, and then you get a fucking haul.
Wait. Sorry, go ahead. You got it written down, Fox, and just go ahead and paste it into the Discord if you would.
Oh, I want me to type it. God.
Okay, aqueous form, how many?
1.
Fire giant strength.
1.
Flying.
3.
Okay, that's all I need.
1
I
fire
got the
breath.
rest.
Cool. Okay.
No,
so
he said 2 fire breath.
I did say 2 fire breath. Oh. If you pop back down the hole and report what you saw above, that's the scene.
Murder scene.
Some potion shop owner was pulled very viciously down through his own floor into the space you're in. He did not have a basement, but now he does.
But
Well,
I
I have
found
a
the
new
file
phobia.
from the other room.
I'm gonna put that on the Zillow ad.
new basement. Recent renovation.
Brand new basement.
Newly finished basement,
Newly
35,000 square feet.
Yeah. So this property is now worth about 2 million gold pieces, right?
That sounds right. Yeah,
Mhm.
that sounds right.
Because I said it was.
That makes sense.
Don't forget, it's technically connected to a beachfront property.
You're right. It's gonna have to go
Triple
for 3. Oh, you're right. 6.
That's just
In
hilarious.
this market?
All right, which tunnel now?
So you can go through any of the tunnels here, but remember you have several other tunnels back the way you came from.
More tunnels, the merrier.
I mean, it seems like this is the direction stuff is happening in.
The rats went this way, though.
He said that whatever made the scorch marks can just casually open a door. That's a little disturbing to me. We're not in maybe,
Not only did it casually
but
open
it
the door,
doesn't
but also
very-
ripped the floor out like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Somehow it silently did that, but it just had to open the door.
But
real
it's not
quiet.
sounding quite like monster territory anymore. It kind of sounds a little bit more sentient, if you know what I mean.
Like it's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, like it has a plan, and that's disturbing because we don't know what the plan is yet.
Like I said, I found a vial like the ones back in the other room. Up there.
Yeah,
by
I
where
don't like
the-
that either.
Maybe this was the culprit. Points at the skeleton.
We got him.
This was
Case
the head of the
closed.
jar
We
guy.
won D&D.
The story of what happened is told by the victor, and that's us. We're still alive.
What remains? Nothing remains.
Literally nothing remained. Just robbed his whole store. Oh wait, I didn't find his safe. Scurries back up.
Make an
Oh,
investigation
no.
check.
It was a potion shop. He's got to have gold.
I mean, you got potions. Those are worth their weight in gold.
19.
So as you're up there, you hear a knock on the door. You kind of, remain quiet, keep to yourself, and kind of move back into the space. The fireplace on the mantle, you can see that there is what appears to be a lockbox. And it looks like it was split perfectly in half by like a red line kind of cut like the shelves were. And it looks like there's no contents inside of the box anymore.
Okay, so it is sentient. It's totally sentient.
Also,
And it needs money.
while you are searching, you kind of like look outside and can see that there's that same person out there. It looks like a halfling, just kind of like really annoyed, kind of milling about. And the guard kind of walks over and they start talking. But you're not really paying attention to them too much for very long because they very quickly become disinterested. When from your position, and I'll go ahead and move us back to the large map for a second, you can see from your position. Bear with me here while I make sure we're on the right spot when I bing it. I like being completely and 100% accurate and correct. Do 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 do. Bottle, 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 bottle. Bottle, 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 bottle. Bottle?
Bottle.
Indeed.
Bottle.
Okay, so from your position, you can see that they appear to be looking at something off in the distance. You can't see exactly what they're looking at, but what you're able to kind of like do from your position, from what you're looking at, you can kind of see that they're looking towards like the west of the space. And I'm gonna ping where you're at. Bear with me. My stat ping's not working, and it's really making me very, very sad. My snap ping is not working, and it's making me very, very sad. There it is. Okay, good. So that one there. And so this is the door that they were at, right? And then the window you're looking at is kind of underneath this awning. And you're seeing them kind of move from this building, looking off to the north, or the west rather, heading off this way. And they kind of start walking away from you to the south on this road. That make sense?
Okay. I can't see anything.
You can't see what they're looking at. Because there's that awning that's kind of blocking you. It looks like they're looking up at something towards the west, and then they kind of start wandering over that way.
It's not the magic tower, is it?
I don't know. Do you want to step outside and check?
Is there anyone else in the street?
Nobody
Look
else.
The other way. Look this way.
Nobody else in the
Open
street.
the window slowly and stick my head out.
Nobody else in the street. There are some people in the building across from you that are looking outside, but they aren't really looking at you. They're looking at the people who are walking away.
Yeah, I'll open the window real quick and peek my head out and look down the street.
If you kind of look over that way and kind of get out from underneath the awning to do so, you would see that they are indeed looking at the tower. You can see a large shadow kind of blocking a bit of the sunlight because it's still early morning, and it appears to be Magier Tower shaped over in where 49A is.
Great.
The magic key.
Indeed.
Ducks back inside.
All right, I'll move you back to that space, and then you're back.
The tower. The tower. The Kestis tower.
Is it back?
Yeah.
Nobody believed me.
I never saw it. Sorry.
So yeah, there's a couple passages here. There's the passages back the way you came, and there's a big tower. And I'm trying to make that a reality, but my computer is being a goober.
I kind of want to.
Not as just in the tower. Okay.
I mean, it's not very easy for all of us to get up there.
I vote following will say to the northeast.
Northeast, you said?
Leslie just like, y'all are both crazy. And just starts walking down the tunnel.
This
Right.
one.
Hold on a second here.
You good?
La la la. La la la. La la la. Sword break, sword break, sword break, sword break. Okay, and you are going that way. Okay. Perfect. And real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and put us back to the town.
Okay.
Because the direction you've got, I know which way we're going. So as you kind of head off that way, you continue on, and this path is very windy as well. It's just kind of not great. And when you finally come to a point where it ends, it seems that the unworked nature of the structure comes to a point where there's worked structure, and it looks like the wall that would have been kind of placed between you has been borne out, right? Similar in kind to the other ones. But it looks like there is inside of the structure it went into large metal bars and kind of like a strong metal set of walls on the left and the right flanking. So when you kind of come through, you're in this kind of metal box almost, but the ceiling is stone and the ground is stone. There are scorch marks across the bars from your side, but looking past the bars, you can see that there are several other rooms like this, almost as if you were standing inside some sort of prison.
Oh.
From what you can
Like
see.
is the bar like a door?
Oh yeah, so it's like a cage, like it's like a prison cell's cage, right?
Okay, I was gonna say, they're just bars. Like, is it stuck to the ground? Is it on a hinge?
No, yeah, there's definitely a. It's like it's kind of like a sliding door, right? But it's very much locked at this point, and it looks like they were kind of scratched at. Lose, metal smart person, you would recognize that the bars are adamantine. The walls appear to have been reinforced with adamantine. For whatever reason, the back wall was not, or it was, and due to some sort of damage from the other side, the wall was allowed to be pushed in, but it since has been removed somehow. You're not sure where that wall or what has happened with that. But basically, tunnel, slightly worked walls into a prison cell with adamantine walls and adamantine bars. And it looks like there are a number of other prison cells like this kind of in front of you and to the sides.
So.
And it sounds like there are people in these spaces too. None of them are looking at you or anything, but
we would technically be in a cell.
you're technically in a cell, correct?
Okay. So whatever was in the cell has gotten out. Or whoever.
Or it came in.
And got someone out?
No, the scratches are on the inside. Tried to get out.
Yeah. Now I have a bad feeling about the Magier Tower being back. It's a later problem. Well, I suppose we can't really get out this way. Because I for sure, I can't easily just get these open.
Not a great idea to prison break out of a prison you don't know where you're at.
Yeah. I've never done one of those, but I hear you definitely shouldn't be doing it.
Okay, so you're gonna backtrack back into the hole?
Yeah.
Okay. You wind back in, and you come to the space you were in before.
think that leaves just north, other than going back where we came.
There was another one, wasn't there?
The rat
There's
one.
two
Yeah.
more. There's two more. The's one north.
Yeah, there's one down
where
here,
That's
and then
the dead
one
end.
over here.
And that's the way
Oh,
back we
this
came.
one's the
Go
dead
north or
end.
back west.
No,
Go
this
back
is
east.
where we came in from here. And then
Yeah.
there's another one here.
Correct. So north and east are the two directions you have not gone.
Yeah.
I had one person say they wanted to go north.
We can go north.
North.
Look, I started to slip back in.
It's okay.
Then I started slipping back out.
Sometimes you gotta go north to the creek.
Yep. True.
I'm doing my
East.
best, okay?
Orlandis has a weird looking shield down there.
That's all we can ask. Okay, 1 second here while I do a little bit of theory. Okay.
Discord does not well. There it goes.
Okay. And then got it. Okay, so theorying done. So if you go to the north one, it's going to continue on for a while, but about 30 or 40 or so feet in, it starts to decline. Not sharply, but enough for you to notice. And if you keep going, it's going to continue going for quite some time. Like, the farthest you've gone so far was like a few hundred feet, right? This, oh, whoa, that's not what I want. This one is, I mean, just from the onset, we're talking like 400 feet before, like, or 100 or so feet before it starts to descend, and then like 400 feet before it starts getting old. Like, do we want to keep going through this path, or do we want to not do that? All the way to the end, or is there a point where you kind of say this is kind of a dead end, but not a dead end, it's just a long pass? Sounds like there's no answer to that, so I'm assuming you just keep going.
I'm just following her.
Yeah, let's just keep going.
Eventually,
For another... Yeah.
100 yards.
it comes to a point where you see that there's a basin in the tunnel, and that basically what I mean by that is it kind of swells down, kind of comes up, but at the bottom of this shaped tunnel is a kind of pool of water. The pool of water in question is kind of a ruddy looking color, and it looks like inside of the water there's a humanoid shape that's kind of reddish in color. The smell of this specific area is very familiar to anybody who dealt with the weird bottles. But it looks like it's maybe 20 feet across, and then it looks like it ascends. The tunnel ascends on the other side.
So there's a humanoid in the water.
Yeah, and it looks like it's of the same kind of consistency as the hand or the other body parts that were in the bottles.
I don't like that.
Is it moving?
It's not.
Oh.
Unless you're touching the water. I don't think anybody was touching the water.
No, I don't like that. I... Abort.
Abort.
Abort mission.
Okay. Nobody's trying to cross the water or do anything with this, right?
I don't think that's gonna be smart.
Maybe just walk along the wall and go across.
If you want to check the other side, you can do that if you wish.
Just don't fall in.
I'm good at climbing. I'll do it. I'll cross.
Okay, so you get onto the other side. You walk for maybe 40 more feet when you see sunlight kind of piercing in. It looks like it's kind of shadowy sunlight, like it's coming through something. But once you kind of look out and kind of make your way to the hole, you realize that you are in the jungle, in a clearing, and from this clearing you look up and you can see a large mountain, and on top of that mountain you can see a bunch of strange looking metal like extensions, which, being kind of a well-traveled individual, you would know this is a skyport. And the skyport was mentioned to you before, a place where airships would come to dock. It definitely doesn't look like from this position you can get up there. And this clearing seems to be just in the middle of the jungle somewhere. The other thing is there's probably about 6 bodies hanging from the trees on the exterior of the clearing. And it looks like they are human bodies or humanoid bodies that have been completely peeled clean of their flesh.
Nope. Don't like this. Nope.
Based on the dripping consistency, this is relatively recent.
Abort mission. Abort.
Sword break sucks.
This place is awful.
Just run downstairs, climb along the wall, jump back down. Fuck this place.
Not fucking
Nope,
bodies,
nope.
Skyport, fucking demons.
Okay, so I'm going to move you back to the big map, and just so we can kind of understand directionally how this kind of works. So you are in what you would know now, because you kind of hopped out, 54A. GM, switch, boom, bam. Alright. And from what you can tell, based on the passages you've gone, the pass north goes directly underneath and kind of dips beneath the fortress, the City Watch fortress. The pass that kind of winded about kind of comes into a prison cell, which you presume is underneath the fortress. This passageway has not been taken, and then I will draw the other map for you here in a moment. So basically it would go... something like... Well, that's not perfect, but there you go. Oh, that's all on GM. Good, I can erase that and you've never seen it before. Yay!
Yep.
Because it was really bad, you guys.
That was just your practice round.
You're right.
Ravic's no fool. His rat instincts took hold. He's stuck his head out like,
Perfection. Just the
I
way
know
I
what
wanted it.
self-preservation is.
so like that.
Oh.
So the big winding passage that got you to where you were.
And we haven't done the one that was next to the
rats.
entrance.
Right.
See where them rat
Then
boys went.
we still have all
Yeah.
these ones over here.
Correct. So do you want to go down the rat one?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you take the rat one, it's pretty simple, and I'll go ahead and just doodle it out on the map. So it goes kind of very quickly to the left from where you're walking, and then it comes to a point where it stops and opens into a small cavern. The cavern in question is very much like an obulet, if you're familiar with the term. It's very deep down beneath you in kind of like a almost cup-like conical pattern. And then up above you, there's kind of a hole with light kind of piercing down. Based on the sounds, it sounds like it might be the promenade above you, because everybody here has been to the promenade. And it just sounds like jovial, people talking, clattering of dishes, the like. You then see some trash just kind of flung into the hole and descend down and land. And when it lands in the obulet, you realize that the obulet's floor is not a floor at all. It is a mass of trash and rats which kind of scurry up and grab a hold of the trash and break it into pieces and descend down. Some of the rats, you notice, Ravik, are connected at the tail and kind of move in this very strange pattern to get to the trash. Other rats are
so
not.
sad.
There's just
Rat King.
there's a bunch of rats all throughout the space, and some of them have kind of nested in such a fashion that they've, rat kinged.
Poor babies.
Oh my God! Save them! Cut their tails off.
No.
I mean, it'd save them. That's better than them, being stuck.
Yeah,
with one another.
that's true. It's just, it's sad.
Yeah, there's actually one rat king that looks like it's a very large rat who has kind of moved with the dead rats on its back, just kind of continuing, having stolen all the food from the others and just survived.
The Rat Emperor, if you
The
will.
Rat Emperor, if you will.
I must save the Emperor.
Where's the Nutcracker when you need him?
Right? But yeah, it looks like this is basically a waste bin that's been kind of put to use. It definitely looks like it's pretty. It strangely does not fill to a point where it exceeds the hole you are entering into, which you don't understand why. Like, obviously, there has to be a bottom, you would think.
Right.
But I would like for Orlandis to go ahead and make a history check. This structure, this obulette, if you will, is a very common occurrence in Parnan construction. And basically what they do is they take a very young Otyug, chuck it into the obulette, and then just throw refuse into it to feed it, and it continually devours the trash, which means you're basically getting rid of the waste.
Oh.
I mean, it works.
But
It works.
it seems that if there is an Otyug in there, it is so overwhelmed with refuse. It has allowed itself to become completely buried, and it's also allowing rats to live in there. This is a gross place. Normally you have an Otyug hole. You know how much trash is going in there. The Otyug will probably not have an abundance of trash. It'll be well fed with the common kind of amount that's being put in.
Or it's dead.
It could be dead, but it had to have died recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like
3 days ago?
based on the amount of trash that's here, like if you had to guess, it's definitely within the 6th day.
Oh no.
Or possibly within the month. You're not sure. You'd have to sit here and watch trash descend to kind of get an idea to gauge how much is built up.
Measure the trash real fast. Hold on.
But it's long enough time for rat kings to form and a rat emperor to have been created. A concept you folks didn't even know existed until I told you that there's rats who will literally just boss mode the other rats and just drag them around dangling after them like trinkets.
Can I reach the Rat Emperor? I want to make him a pit.
Yeah,
No.
you got a great climbing speed, so you can certainly do so.
They may have a rat emperor, but what about a rat god?
If you would like to make an animal handling check, due just to the hilarity of it all, I will allow you to have advantage.
Oh my god.
Come to me, my children. 23.
That's a critical success.
Nat 20.
So the Rat Emperor, whose name you will come up with at your leisure, is coaxed into leaving with you. If you are willing to help it along, because it's not very good at climbing up on you. It seems to have a good handle of moving about the trash with the other rats still stuck to it. But if you'd like to go ahead and just untangle the dead rat corpses that are on it from it, it's even more appreciative and certainly will join you. So this rat is like, you know those pictures of dogs that are like extremely muscular? But a rat though. But a rat though.
On steroids.
Right. It is a swoly moly rat. Yeah, exactly.
Julius Caesar.
Julius Caesar.
Yes!
The Emperor.
The boys!
Oh, Julius Caesar.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I love it. I love it. It's, Scott Ratula is pretty good too. Okay, so anyways, you have a rat. I will form the stats for which, but basically your animal handling check was so good it will help you and be your animal buddy forever.
You're disrupting rat politics now.
Yeah, because now who's in charge? It's gonna be a madhouse down here. But yeah, from this space, it doesn't look like there are any access points besides a ladder and kind of grate up at the top, which you assume is just for like someone to come down to the landing around this portion of the obula and kind of, you know, make sure everything's going okay. But it doesn't look like it's been used in a long, long time. But yeah, dead end.
Suppose we go back?
Oh, did I draw that on the GM layer again? I'm silly.
Yeah.
There.
Hey.
Hey.
So, if you do make your way back, you will have been told by Bravik that there is apparently the appearance of the tower outside. And you're welcome to go investigate that if you wish, but you are certainly not. You don't have to if you don't want to.
We want to stay down in the hole with the unknown Bernie thing?
We don't know if it's still down here.
Right. Could be escaping to the jungle.
Do you explain what you saw out there to them?
Oh, yeah.
Cassia, go ahead and make a medicine check. Yeah, so, you are pretty sure that it would very much be easier to, it'd be very easy, rather, to remove the skin from a person with hot claws than it would be to do so with, like, a regular kind of skinning knife. Kind of melt the flesh off instead of, you know, just tear it off.
Oh,
Don't
you
ask
said
how I know that, but
Imagine Cassia saying that now.
Well,
actually,
But
murder.
innocent baby.
She's the best girl.
So we can presume that this thing might be up that way then. And just using the tunnels for its own leisure. To get around.
I mean, it's been a nice hike for us, other than, you know, the people eating owlbears, the burnt corpses, the separated corpses, the hands in a bottle. I mean, I can see why they might be using them.
Yeah, you know, Cassia, you're listing off all the reasons that I want to go back to the ship.
So you make your way back to the house we started in,
Yep.
and you have a line secure to continue upwards if you wish to exit out into the open air, or you have 3 other tunnels you haven't investigated yet.
What other horrors can lie?
I mean, if at least one of them had that much good stuff.
If I had to guess, it went that way. That's a long line that way. I doubt it came back over here.
I mean, I have no idea. I suppose we should. You know what? We started something. We might as well finish it. This one?
Which one? Okay.
I'm in.
Okay. If you go through that passageway and head off, it comes to a point where the path starts to ascend. And you very much get the idea that you're going to come up to the surface at some point. But it's a long time coming. Eventually, you come out of what appears to be a cliff face, kind of like a rocky facing. Not too dissimilar from these guys, like right here. That's not pinging for you. Let me go ahead and do it again. Like these guys here, right? But facing the opposite direction. And you realize that not too far from where you're standing, there is a path with 3 kind of directions that connect to it. So your path leads up to it and connects. and then there's a pathway that leads back towards what you presume is back to town, right? But it does so at kind of a southwesterly way. And then there's a path that continues, or sorry, southeasterly way from where you're at. And then there's a path that goes straight on west. And at that triumvirate of roads, there is a signpost.
What does the signpost say?
It's written in Halfling.
The halflings weren't very friendly, were they?
They were said to be very territorial, yeah.
I'm gonna assume, since I don't speak halfling, that it says
If
"Get
comprehend
the
language
fuck out."
is taken, the signs, there's 3 of them, kind of pointing in different directions. One says,
Well, I still have comprehend languages on, I imagine.
yeah, well, you can cast it again. It's been more than 10 minutes. But you can definitely cast it again. It's not a problem. But that said, when you do, it seems to be directional. So, one, the sign that points towards the cave in Halfling says Lantern Head. That's the name of the cave direction. The path to what you would presume is towards Swordbreak says Hobbit's Whale. And the path to the west, that's kind of directionally western. Is Hobbit copyrighted? Let me double check that real quick.
I think
It
it
is.
is.
That
Yeah.
is-
That's one of the reasons why they wanted to use halfling originally.
so it's
Yeah,
not Hobbit, because I don't want to fuck with
Halfling.
Tolkien estate. No, I'm good.
It's hobo.
It's
Oh,
It's Shabbatvale.
no. It's
little person.
it would be Halfling's Whale. Just make it easy. And then the path to the west says Levidia in Halfling. Which strangely is legible to people who are reading Common.
Oh,
Because Halfling
well, I can
is-
read that one.
Halfling says is the same language. Or same alphabet.
Right.
But yeah, Halfling's Whale, not Hobbit's Whale. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then Lantern Head is the pointing towards the cave. Oh, and also from here, kind of through the trees, you can see the tower. And I do have the tower on there.
Yeah. Well, we know that the halflings aren't very friendly to everyone coming into their territory, so I'm not terribly keen on sticking around.
I mean, what if the halflings have flaming claws?
I mean, I'm not too worried about that bit. Actually, no, that would make them more scary.
The
A little
That's
bit more
what I'm saying.
terrifying.
I will say that the path, from what you can see, with the exception of the Lantern Head direction, looks very well traveled. Your path doesn't look like there are very many footprints on it whatsoever. And there are also some footprints that kind of come onto the road from like outside of the road itself, mainly from the southwest, kind of coming up onto the path. And it looks like whoever was walking that specific direction was wearing very heavy shoes. Because the mud and kind of dirt is very kind of deeply sunk in.
Oh, I don't like the sound of very heavy shoes.
Oh, as a elf, you can go ahead and make a Arcana check, even if you don't have it trained.
14.
Not high enough.
Damn.
So Lothe doesn't know much about what you're thinking about.
Yeah. Still don't like that idea. I'd like to go back.
Into the hole? Lantern Head? Okay. You
Yeah.
go back
You
down.
heard her. Back to the hole.
You go back down into the hole. You got 2 more paths. One goes directly west. One goes directly southwest.
Might as well go west.
Okay. So, what you'll notice is that this passageway doesn't look like it was burned out. And when you think back on it, neither did the path that you just went through. So these don't look like they were worked or made in the same way as the other ones. It looks like this might have been formerly connected to that. So these two paths look like they're of a similar workmanship.
Okay.
As you continue through this path, you come to a point where there is an end to the hall. At the very end of the hallway is a shrine. The shrine appears to be made out to the halfling god or halfling power known as Gemwich. And you can see that there are a number of kind of monikers that have been kind of listed around the name Gemwich, kind of written on this altar. And these monikers are like just relationship ties. So those who are familiar with Gemwich, you would know that most halflings refer to Gemwich as some form of relative of theirs. So like my grandpa Gemwich or Uncle Gemwich or Auntie Gemwich, and Gemwich is kind of like gender doesn't matter. It's a kind of whoever is talking about Gemwich will kind of give them their own kind of decidedly gendered relationship, familial relationship to them. But the altar with the simple kind of signs of Gemwich, which are typically just footprints. And like stereotypically religious tacky footprints. You know, like the Jesus footprints, like thing that's like it's like that. It's like painted and kind of drawn on the walls and stuff. That kind of shit. But in the center of the altar is what appears to be a shrunken head, and its eyes are glowing.
Like it's looking at us?
No, its eyes are just glowing.
It's just glowing. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody put a candle in it.
So is this like a halfling shrunken head? So it's really, really tiny?
So, great question that you asked. Looking at it, Vravik, it looks like it may have been a halfling and it didn't shrink as much as you think a shrunken head for a halfling would shrink. Or it looks like a human's head that is shrunken down to sub-halfling size. The skull has been removed, is basically the long and short of it. And the skin has basically been dried to a point of kind of withering and just taking a smaller shape. But the light that's glowing inside of it is kind of not quite candlelight, as was suggested by Astrogoth. It's more like someone cast the spell light inside of the head. If you would more closely examine it, you would realize that it looks like a permanent formation of the spell light has been kind of imbued in it.
Half a lantern.
Oh my gosh.
Also, on closer inspection, you would see that the hair has been pulled very tightly into two knots, which have been pulled up and then linked together like a handle.
It's like a lantern.
It's like a lantern head.
Oh my gosh. So it is like a
Pick it
halfling
up.
lantern.
Pick it up.
Dark Souls!
You pick it up.
Rabbit picks it up.
Yeah, I can see in the dark. Give it to Orlandus.
Starts looking around it.
Orlandus needs it.
There you go.
You have the shrunken lantern head?
I have the shrunken hunter list.
This was on the shrine, right?
Uh-huh.
It's a real bad idea.
Or you think we should have Indiana Jonesed it?
I mean, it can't be any worse than a crystal shard embedded in his forearm.
I mean,
If you
True
pick
that.
it, if you pick
Say
up,
that.
nothing crazy happens. No curses are imbued upon you. You just have a head that's lanterned.
I'm
There's
more
this.
thinking about how this is like desecration of a shrine.
Yeah, that's 100% what's happening.
Lantern head, so
But when you kind of hold it up
assign
and kind of
formulas to it.
look at it and kind of like hold it to like move the light in a direction, what you realize is as you're holding it, the light potency changes. When it was sitting, it was just kind of like torchlight kind of coming out of the eyes, kind of glowing around it, creating a light. But as you hold it up and kind of point it in a direction, there are these beams of light that seem to just flood the entire passage, and they seem to go ad nauseum,
Oh, God.
forever.
Nice.
Floodlights.
That would have been
All right.
useful.
I'm gonna add shrunken halfling lantern to my.
And that's a powerful headlight right there.
Just put. I will type what the name of the item is, and you can put that.
Half a
instead.
lantern. We already went over this.
Mreglu
Nice.
lantern head.
The headlamp.
Alright. Got it.
Cool.
How much does it weigh?
A pound.
Okay.
Do you want
Alright,
to?
got it.
Do you want to
Is there anything
exa-
else in this shrine?
Do you want to examine it in any other ways and check to see anything about it, Orlandis?
Is it magical? I can't tell.
Yes.
But
I mean,
someone else can.
I mean, it's got light cast on it.
Yes, it does
Cool.
appear to be magical.
Okay. Hmm.
Open the mouth.
Can I?
Yeah, is the mouth stitched together?
So no, the mouth isn't stitched together. You reach down and kind of push the mouth open, and when you do so, more light flares out from it. Bright daylight kind of just bursting out of it.
jeez.
Also, the screams of the damned.
On the plus side, if we run into vampires, we're good to go.
When you do so,
Cassia, good news. No
when
more
you-
vampires.
when you push the mouth open and then kind of seal it, you'd also notice that the eyes strangely look like they can be pushed down, like the eyelids can be pushed down. Looks like the eyelids themselves have been replaced with small pieces of earthenware.
Oh.
Turn it off and
It's
on.
got. Yeah.
So you can shut the eyes and you can close the mouth, and doing so means that there's no light coming out of the head.
Wow.
Okay.
They thought of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So is this one of those lanterns where I could put it on my hip?
Yeah.
Or do I have to? Okay. Will it still work if I have it on my hip, or do I have to have it out?
Yeah, it'd be fine.
Okay.
You could hang it from the bottom of your sword. You could hang it on your chest, so you have this fucking
And then you look like a headhunter. I
halfling
mean,
head on your chest. You just open the mouth and eyes real quick.
I wonder why they're not very friendly to visitors.
He's gonna go up on the cliff and just start doing Morse code with the lantern head.
Made a very tiny doodle.
A long scream is a dag.
So it's nearly perfect, but instead of going inwards like that, it kind of goes out like that and then back in. So it's triangular downwards. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You just said triangle, and I went with
Yeah.
like a diamond.
Like it's like a handle. It's
You
like-
know,
right?
you
Like a
can
diamond?
grab that as a handle.
Well, I know, but it's an actual bar in between.
Oh, it's a bar. Oh,
yeah,
that
you see
makes
what I'm
more
saying?
sense.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's like one of those Halloween pumpkin baskets.
Right, or those weights, like the
kettlebell.
yeah, kettlebell, it's like that.
I'm afraid to ask, but if you cast Speak with Dead on that head, what would happen?
You find out it's very bright.
I will answer you it this way, Foxen. I don't know what would happen, but you can certainly try if you'd like to.
We got 3 scrolls.
I think you just hear screaming.
Kill me.
You're already dead.
Why are you a lantern? I don't know.
I'm a lantern. What?
The lights just like flickering as he talks.
Who hurt you?
Who did this to you?
That's great. But yeah, so
You've got a bright personality.
Mrehu Lantern. I will, just because this is the last session of the year, and I do want to get us to a specific point. The tower is very interesting to you, Cassia,
Yeah.
obviously, and so I'd kind of like to I was hoping that it being
Yeah, I
mentioned-
figure we've gone through all of the tunnels to
Yeah,
the most part.
I'll
We
say
have
the
a
la-
key, so let's...
the last tunnel that you would go down just heads to a place where you'd be getting involved with halflings. So I don't want to
Oh.
do that.
Avoid
Yeah,
that.
no.
Yeah, let's avoid that.
As soon as we see any sign of a halfling, booking it back.
If you had gone that direction earlier, I would have loved to go through that interaction because it would have been funny if you did it in the same order, taking the head and then going to meet with
Oh
them.
God.
But since I don't want to end for the year on a point where you're fighting halflings, let's go ahead and say you make
Yeah,
it back
because
up.
we would win.
Would you now? So you go
I
outside.
don't think so.
Oh, I just almost said something really mean.
I
Don't
said
do
we,
it.
not I. We.
No,
Don't-
I almost said something really mean.
Don't say it, John.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say
Save
it
that
later.
for
I'll say it
later.
off. Say it off screen.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't count.
No, it still counts.
No, wait.
Then it's not recorded.
No recording.
So you go
I
out. You
just don't
pop
want him
back
to say
up.
something stupid.
You're on the surface. The tower is present, Cassia. You can see it, and for some reason, the tower, a tower you've never seen before in your life, but you've seen glimpses of, for but a moment, is strangely familiar to you. There are gargoyles on.
Anybody else see it?
Everyone sees it.
Okay.
It is right there.
That is a tower.
It is probably around 700 feet tall. I know that's very tall. And it kind of almost pierces into the very light amount of clouds that are kind of present in the sky today. It does look like there are some people milling about near it, but it does look like they're not really, doing anything about going into it if you kind of head that way to see what's going on.
I think I know that place. I think I need to go there.
I
There has to be a reason I could see it before.
I suppose that we could go. Townfolk said that they didn't quite like it though.
They couldn't see it yesterday, but I could.
Yeah. Didn't they say something about there being some conglomerate being there before and shooing them out of town?
We got on okay with the one.
Orlandis, Bravik, and Astrogoth, and probably Losei, but she's traveled a bit. You would know that is definitely a conglomerate Magier's tower. They very much kind of follow the same kind of building guidelines, and that is one.
Yeah. But just talking specifically about what the townfolk had said previously.
Yep.
Maybe the one that crashed into that farmhouse will be here.
Oh, that guy. I forgot his name. I mean, we could try getting in.
It's just very familiar.
You're kind of approaching it. You can see that there are people outside kind of milling about. There are some guards who are talking, and there's one guy who looks kind of familiar, but you don't know where from. Just a guy who looks like he's wearing important looking clothing, but he's kind of keeping to the guards, right? As Cassia, you kind of make your way towards the tower and through the throng. The door's shut, and every so often you can kind of see somebody walk over and try and open the door, right? And then they're kind of like banging at it, slamming at it. Some people are striking it. But eventually everyone kind of, is backing away after a couple of tries, kind of talking amongst themselves. And then maybe a few minutes later, someone else will try and give it a go. So as you're kind of seeing this spectacle kind of continue, is there anything you'd like to do in the space?
We had a key that was magic, right?
A silver key.
and a badge or a brooch of some sort.
Can I see them?
I believe Bravik has them.
Hands on the Cassia.
If I look at those, does that trigger anything vague?
They don't seem to, but there's this just weirdly strange kind of moment where you see them and she kind of places them in your hand and you're holding them and you look and some idiot finishes kind of like trying to like slam his arm or shoulder into like just beneath the doorknob to kind of break
So
through the
smart.
door. You walk towards the door, and as you're kind of holding the cameo, you look at the door and you can see something that you didn't see from before. There's a keyhole that wasn't there. And you walk over to it with the silver key, place it into the hole, and turn the key. Upon doing so, the door opens, and everyone starts gasping, kind of backing away. And you hear some people towards the back, the people who stayed back, she's one of those conglomerate witches. And you hear other people kind of like, like becoming a little bit more pointed in that direction towards like seeing her as bad. So I'm going to go through each one of you in turn. We have about 10 minutes, and I just want to make sure we move this in the direction that you choose now that I've granted you a few options. So I'm going to start first with the farthest back, who I think would be kind of towards the back watching this as it unfolds. And in my opinion, the person who's most likely to kind of watch the scene from a distance would be Vravik. Vravik is not someone who, in a group of people, is going to jump in and be like, conversation? People? Yeah, that's not Vravik. So, that being said, you hear everything I said. You see the people. Some of the guard are kind of mustering, like they're intrigued and interested in doing something about that. What would you like to do?
He's gonna make.
Go ahead.
So he's gonna make himself known. He's gonna walk up next to Castia and put his hand on her back and say, "Let's go."
Okay. So you're putting the choice to her, and you're kind of getting near her to stand with her when she's going to make a choice. Okay. I'd say the next furthest back would probably be a tie between Astrogoth and Orlandis, so the two of you can fight amongst yourselves. Or if you'd like, as a group, you can kind of speak amongst each other to kind of decide what the plan is. Obviously, it looks like they're going to become potentially hostile towards Castia. So this might become a problem for you.
Orlandis is gonna stand by Castia and sort of like guard her away from a portion of the mob that's about to be formed.
Okay, so you're standing to defend her and kind of go with her what she's doing. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Zach, Astrogoth, similar situation, kind of hearing the calls.
Yeah.
Probably closer to the throng, kind of closer to Castia. You see Vravik start to make his way towards Castia. You see Orlandis kind of moving to interpose. What is Astrogoth doing?
I mean, honestly, I would feel like he would probably do the same thing, and then once he gets close, he'd be like, the band always sticks together.
Okay. Lose? Probably the closest to Castia, as you were kind of the one who was leading her up to it, and she kind of took the items from you, and from that point just kind of walked a few feet away from you to do this. You can see your allies moving quickly and very kind of tensely, and you can see the throng around you becoming problematic. What would you be doing? Muted.
So she kind of goes into Mama Bear mode, and she actually like moves away from Castia and through the others that are coming towards her, and kind of like almost like body blocking.
Yeah.
And like hand on the sword, but not out.
Okay.
And like, you got a problem with us? We found a key. That's it.
Castia, the door opens before you. Inside, you can see what looks like a very open and empty space. Looks like on the ground there's kind of smatterings of acid. You don't know what that's about, but you can kind of see the acid burns across it. Out of character, blame the Sunday crew. All along
As is tradition.
Yeah, for Friday, right? All along the walls, you can see books and sections where books are missing and sections where shelves are missing. Just a very strange and confusing patterning of books on the walls. And there are actually some books on the floor, which is weird. What you know at this point, understanding the situation that's going on amongst the town folk, understanding the situation that's in front of you, understanding everything, I'm basically putting to the group and again, discuss amongst yourselves what you want to do in this point since we have 8 more minutes. But you have basically 3 choices. Basically, unless you want to come up with one of your own outside of these. But I'm going to give you the 3 just so you know what I'm kind of looking at. Feel free to go outside the box, though. Option 1 is to run away from the group and make it back to the ship. Despite it being damaged as it is, set sail now. Option 2, fight the throng and defeat as many as you can until
Upcast Spirit Guardians. Oh, sorry.
Until they surrender. That would probably do a lot of work.
Eat shit, peasants.
Someone's played Baldur's Gate 3.
It's what I did in the Patreon game, too.
Yeah.
I want to intimidate the crowd to back off.
So fight or intimidate the crowd to basically kind of quell to you or be quelled, and then speak to management and hope that goes well. Or
Karen mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Karen option. Or Castia, you could have everyone go inside of the tower with you and shut the door and defend yourself from within.
So, from Castia's perspective, she is in that same sort of trance that we saw at the tree when we were in the Vampire Manor, and when we were at the other tree in the Feywild. So she is going to be starting to move forward, almost oblivious to the throng in the distance and the people gathering up around her. It's not like a frantic run in there, so if somebody wanted to stop her and take another route, that is absolutely feasible, but she is kind of sleepwalking towards the door to go in.
So, putting it to everyone else, you were moving to defend her, but you were defending her from the throng. She is entering into the tower. Are you doing likewise?
Yeah.
Orlandis is backing into the tower?
Strong together.
I mean, it'd be idiotic to just stay out here at this point. So, yep, here we go.
Okay. And the last person in, do you shut the door or do you kind of leave it open?
Probably shut it.
Okay. Once you shut it, you see a dial next to the door spin and stop. Looks like there are a number of colors on the dial in kind of radial pie cuts, and it stops on a white coloration. The door itself has kind of like a faded glass coloration or colored window to it. And when you first close the door, there's kind of a brightish blue daylight coming through the window. But the second it switches to that white position, the light outside seems to fade away.
Spooky.
We've been teleported.
Castia, you understand something very, very important at this stage. The same thing that happened to you when you stepped through the Queen of Six's portal, the same thing that happened to you when you saw the portal where the tree opened up and you saw the hand come out. The same thing that happened when the stranger stepped through the portal at the elf tree. The same feeling of this kind of change of position in temporal space happens.
We're not there anymore.
Well, at least the ones that are out there, or were out there, can't get us now.
I'm trying to think who'd be the most curious. No one's jumped to it already.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Jonah hasn't.
We both thought the same thing. Jonah's like, I opened the door. But I think he's holding back. He was smiling there for a second. Oh, he's so cute. I love Jonah. He's so great.
He wants to open the door so bad.
I want to open the door.
Do you?
I don't want to get yelled at, though.
No.
I think you should open the door.
No. We only yell at you
Do what
if you
you
do
want.
something so crazy it's like all outlandish. But do you want to open the door?
I want to open the door.
Orlandis' hand moves towards the doorknob, grabs a hold of it, and slowly spins it. And that's where we'll end the session for tonight. Thanks for watching those that did. We will pick up next session as we learned where the Magier's Tower has gone to.
No.
Oh no, Orlandis, I'm sorry. Your ship's gonna be gone by the time we get back.
Well, one
And our
last
treasure.
one last thing to make sure we have it though. Everyone roll a perception check real quick.
Oh, let it be good.
I need a 16
11.
from one of you.
23, nat 20.
Okay, so
Oh, I'm gonna spend my last inspiration too.
I'm gonna say Foxen, yeah, you got it, and Lose, you got it as well. I'm gonna say I should have said Castia doesn't make a check because she was a bit distracted. But the second the door closed, you were very kind of focused on it because it definitely was strange. And then the dial started to spin. What you saw that nobody else saw is where the dial started in its spin. So there are a total of, I believe it's 7 colors, and one of those colors is blue, and that's where it started. I'll double check my notes on that one for sure before we start back up. But
Did it ended on white?
it ended on white. Whatever white is where you're going.
Okay.
Fun.
Thanks for watching.
White is
And
question mark.
Bye.
for everyone watching, and just so I have it notated, the next session of Rush of Madness will be hopefully at some point in either late February or like middle of March, depending on how our February plans out. And we will be picking up right from this exact spot and continuing past that point. And again,
Right before Orlandis gets sucked out the airlock.
oh yeah, that'd be great. Just kill Jonah for a session back.
You waited 3 months to fucking die.
No, probably not going to happen, but maybe.
Heavy lifting done by the probably there.
Oh
Roll a
yeah.
D100.
Why'd you say it that way? But
No.
main point is if you are watching, Merry Holidays, Happy Christmas, whatever. Have a great rest of your December. We'll be picking up with this channel in January with a shit fuck ton of Cyberpunk. And
Which is a unit of measurement in 2077.
correct, accurate.
Hell yeah.
100%. I think I have one more game planned on the docket. The Tuesday game gets one more go of it. Yeah. And then we'll do Paladin Pals on the 22nd. So keep an eye out for that too.
Yay, Paladin Pals.
Paladin.
Later, everybody. Bye.